Disco. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Free Fire Max Asia Cup brought to you by Lidoma. My name is Mayank Yadav, aka Max Kanath. With me is my very talented friend Raider. Hello, Raider. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great and thank you for welcoming me. And right
Yeah.
now, if I'm not wrong, this is going to be the day number 2 of Indian qualifiers. Well, six back to back matches, and considering this fact that we are going to witness six back to back matches, Six booyahs are going to be there. Six times we are going to see the carnage coming from these amazing teams. Yesterday, if I talk about OG Elites, were on top right now, if I'm not wrong. And other than that, many teams are chasing them. Let's see how the competition will actually rise. Because if you guys don't know, a prize pool of close to $6,000 is at stake.
Yes, a lot is on the line. Today is the day two. You have already seen the day one. And Raider, what will be expectation for the day two? You have already seen how teams performed on the day one. Orangutan Elite, the only team to claim 100 points, cross a century and a margin. And right behind them, it's going to be the World of Battle. We'll see six matches today. And yes, let's have a look at the overall standing. Yes, it was the OG Elite with six matches, 108 points. Right behind them, it's going to be the World of Battle with 93 points. Third, it's going to be the DSG Army with 74 points. At the fourth spot was the Assassin Army with 72 points. Fifth position was secured by Headhunters, 66 points. And the order, as you can see, but the team's in trouble right now. Aura Gaming and Zero Degree. Raider, like I asked you, what will be expectation from the bottom order team, which definitely would want to upset the middle order?
Well, right now they have a kind of pressure that they are at the bottom. Right now they can easily chase the Blues. Like let's say if I talk about Zero Degree or Aura Gaming, they have got 28 and 25 points respectively. And the team which is at above them, like UG Empire or Vitality, they don't have that much of a buffer between them. So one good booyah can easily buff their position to hashtag 9 or 10, and like that. I guess if they are consistent, they can easily climb back to the first page. But definitely, it's going to be a tiring task for these particular teams because the teams which are at the bottom, they have the pressure that we don't want to go down. At the same time, we want to push ourselves up. And if I talk about the teams which are at the top, they have another level of pressure that we are at the top. Somebody is going to snatch us down. Our hashtag one position is going to get dropped. Like OG is actually going to get worried because first off, if I talk about the map schedule, as per the map schedule, first match is going to be in the beautiful map of Bermuda, then Purgatory is going to be there, and then Kalahari, and this circle is going to repeat once again after the third match.
Absolutely. Map schedule right on. We'll move on to the first match of the day. That's going to be the classic Bermuda. It's a very well known map for all the teams. They would want to secure their point and gain the momentum in the first place, like how Orangutan did. Yesterday, we saw how they started with a great booyah in the first match, got two booyahs, and right behind them, we have already discussed it was the World of Battle. World of Battle is the team in form. They want to maintain their consistency, and that goes for the top order. Like you suggested, that they have to maintain their consistency, and
Right.
also on the day two, it's going to be between the Group A and Group C. Group A will play the other six matches today, like they have already finished on their first day, and it's a fresh day. It's a fresh start for the Group C matches, so they have to prepare their guns and go all blazing and control the map.
Meanwhile, resting, the Indian qualifier teams were resting. I guess we witnessed Indonesian qualifiers, Nepali qualifier were there, and eventually Pakistani qualifiers was also there. So obviously, a lot of teams are actually trying their level best to attain that championship into their favor because a lot of things are at stake. Along with the prize pool, it's the bragging rights of winning this championship, the Asia Cup. Along with that, the hopes of fans are actually lurking in the shadow as well. OG Elites, well, they are not failing to, let's say, just impress us. But on the other corner, if we talk about other teams like Team World of Battle, they also got two amazing back-to-back two amazing back-to-back booyahs to be precise. So that's interesting to watch out that how these booyahs are going to convert their positioning in the leaderboard. At this moment, Team World of Battle is slowly but slowly grasping the position. But then again, OG Elite has a buffer. They can easily turn the tides once again. If the kind of consistency which was yesterday coming from OG's corner is going to be there, I believe the apes are not going to go down anytime soon. But if I talk about Team World of Battle, the chase is absolutely surreal. They are also gaining some good points. Rest other than that, if I talk about teams like Team Mafias, well, they were unable to come back sharp enough. I guess they are at hashtag 6 or 7, if I'm not wrong, in the leaderboard. But definitely, I guess there are some hopes from their corner as well. The fans are not going to let them down at this moment, and eventually, I believe Team Mafias won't let their fans down as well.
Absolutely, and teams are not just playing for the glory, but also for their nation's pride. And here we have the Indian qualifiers. First match on its way. Bermuda is on your screen. Their playing path, I think, have surprised them a little bit, but nonetheless, they would want to secure their drop point and want to reach there. And we have Team Mafia on the other side. They can see Delete trying to secure on the near. That's what they do. They split out and capture the large territory so they have enough loot or the utilities so they can conquer the later on fights. But the blue zone, the high tier loot can be seen on Kartuli Sitwa. Let's see, Godlike, will they be able to capture that particular place? Because that's the place they want to go for on half of the way there, which their final location is going to be the observatory. They will definitely want to capitalize that fight. But let's see if they go with the passive approach or teams would want to go aggressive. Especially, you can expect that kind of form from the teams in the bottom order. They need those skill points. After getting those skill points, they can stop and target on the booyahs and target on the placement points.
Definitely in the starting few zones, if they actually target out some good finishes, some good eliminations, that is actually going to boost their momentum as well. And the need of actually getting some finish points is going to be diminished as well. And they could actually focus on Booyas. That's correctly said and done. But right now, if we talk about Team Mafia, well, Delete is there, Mafia Bala is there, Pain is there, Snake is actually there right now. Yesterday, the performance coming from Team Mafia was not that adequate. I guess the fans were not that actually happy about that. And eventually, as a caster, I was also not feeling that this is the OG Team Mafia, which is unable to perform. But if I talk about Revenant, if I'm not wrong, Viper 25,
Yes.
24 is there. We have got R7, we have got Prahit, 09, Raja OP. This is one of those teams which were unable to make their marker in the lobby. But right now, this could be the day where this team will shine.
Yes, absolutely. But the Godlike look in trouble right now, have lost their Ginotra, a very valuable player, but that definitely have to be on their way. And looking like I suggested, they have to capture the observatory territory. Look like they have finally reached their destination, and now Ginotra will not be long. He doesn't have to wait for long. He'll be revived very soon. On the way, the CM Nivesh has been revived. So looking at the lineup, Godlike is looking fairly impressive, but that cannot be sent for the Team Mafia because Team Mafia is lacking their front man lineup. It's going to be Snake that they have to compromise with. Let's see what they perform today. Let's see what they have in the back for us. But on the other side, you can see the current status. Every team surviving with their four-man advantage, and that's what you have to maintain till the last two secure the good booyah if we talk about all the good kills. But here we have the Aura Gaming who are seen on the Katulisatha. Maybe they have got some decent number of kills if they were targeting the Godlike who were on their way to the observatory.
Well, definitely, if they're trying their level best to arrange some good finishes, these kind of scenarios are going to get accounted soon enough. On the other corner, if we talk about this particular team, they're just currently focused more than, let's say, eliminating. They are focused on loots, which is absolutely amazing. You have to get the right kind of utility into a consideration, the right kind of medics, right kind of attachments, right kind of gun to be precise. If you want to actually just push your gameplay on another level and eventually push the teams which are trying to eliminate you from the equation. We have got Team T, we have got Shinu09, Killer is there, Roshan is there, Iconic is also there right now. But right now, these teams are trying to be as dormant as they can do so that they can eventually get some good utilities. And after that, when the zone will push them, when the safe zone is actually going to, let's say, increase the proximity between two teams, well, they will be able to fight with the full power as per the utilities, as per the manpower, as per the consistency.
Absolutely. I think that's what every team is looking forward to avoid the fight in the beginning phase. And when the zone starts to press it in, that forces them for a fight. But Team Evolution here with the frontman lineup, this team recently in the Indian circuit have been performing very well and given a very impressive round of knocks if we talk about the fight because they always want to play on the gear 5 on the aggressive mode and go all guns blazing. But let's see what they have in package for us today. Kemin Esport on the other side, you can see Shipyard still completing their loot, but the zone is going to start pressing soon because the first zone has started to shrink. Kemin Esport with Anand Bhim, Swastik, and Radhe Thakur. On the other side, you can see the live location where the current team are located and how their rotations are going to impact. That is going to play a very crucial role.
Oh, indeed. The rotations are something which is actually going to bring a lot of clashes at this moment. But eventually, if I talk about the placements, well, Godlike is actually holding the observatory region. And if I talk about like teams like Kimini Esports, they are holding the shipyard and hangar area has been holded up by Team Assassin. But let's see how they are going to actually convert these amazing rotations into the clashes and eventually get some good blows. Because rotation clashes are one of those period where you can easily get some good blows if the opponent is rotating, if they are in vehicles, and eventually you are catching them off guard, and that is something which can easily help you a lot in terms of your finish points. But right now, teams are still focused on the lose. But slowly but surely, PlayZone is like, let's push you out and eventually get you in an open region.
Absolutely. I think soon we'll see some great action. Already, if we talk about the drop clashes, I think that was only between the Aura Gaming who landed at Katosita against the Godlike Esport who had their path, or you can see just the rotation along that route. And now we can see Team Insane Esports still completing their loot on the outer side of the zone, outside the zone at the Cape Town. And Cape Town is a big territory. You can get good amount of loot there. That's what they're focused on. Once they have the loot, they have the confidence. Definitely, they can capture the fight, any fight that they encounter on their way.
They have the right kind of abilities, they can easily actually come back with a lot of anticipation and a lot of patience has to be required at that moment. But eventually, if I talk about this particular team, Shivam, Zian, Vishal, and the other guys are trying their level best to just be into the zone, meanwhile patching themselves so that they can be ready for the next conflict that can actually come anytime soon. There could be some other team which is lurking in the shadow and they might be able to land some good shots on them. Team Mafia on the other corner, still empty-handed, still trying to figure out that which is the right location from which they can fight out. Delete being the guy who is actually scouting all of these arenas. But right now, if we talk about Mafia Wala, he's also trying his level best to adequate and get some good fights.
Absolutely, that's what they're looking for. But along their route, I think they can encounter Team Evolution. We have seen them capturing the behind part of the peak. If you just have a look at that, and Team Mafia are gonna enter that zone very soon. That's where the zone is also pushing them. But Revenant Esports still completing their loot on the Sentosa region. And talking about their frontman lineup today, I see Arsh Viper, Raja OP, and Prihat. And after Asim has left the team, it has been a little bit trouble to decide who does the role very well because they have chosen Prith overnight today. Let's see if he can play the role very well. We have 46 players, two players are completely knocked out, and let's see how many fights we encounter on the way because as soon as the zone starts to press in, there'll be more action coming up on our way.
Indeed, the action is actually for sure going to be there as far as the zone is concerned. It is actually going to push them quite a bit. But using this kind of bridge is actually going to be quite critical because you're way too open ended. If the enemy is there in front of you, they can easily land you out and eventually put you down. That can be very critical. But the safe zone will shrink in just in a way second, like let's say 50 seconds more to go. And if we talk about the manpower, as you all can see, the current status shows us clearly that not even a single guy from this lobby has been taken down. Eventually, all the teams are trying to play a little bit more safer, a little bit on the safer side is going to be the gameplay for them. And this is completely different from the previous meta that yesterday was actually explored. Yesterday, we saw quite a few guns blazing. OG was guns blazing. TWOB was guns blazing. But right now, today, if I talk about the fights, it's looking a little bit more dominant. But I think Team Tai has actually lost one good member of their team.
Yes, looking like they have encountered a fault. It could be against the War 3000, like I noticed, but today the passive approach, the patience approach has definitely worked for the team. But Orangutan Elite, like you were talking about, they are on the tabletop. They want to pick a fight, have lost one of the crucial members, Old Monk. And are they still looking for fight? Yes, constant damage is being provided by the Pahadi. He doesn't have his favorite sniper gun, but he can do the damage. And there it is, a beautiful knock to the Vitality player. Yes, he's completely knocked out. Like in shots exchange are still being done, and trade fire loss of Pahadi could be a big situation, big trouble for the team. Mr. JYT trying to close in, barge in into the fight, but using Dual very beautifully. He's the last man standing, but a beautiful headshot coming up. Last man standing, can he secure the fight? Orangutan looking in trouble right now. They want to capitalize this fight, but Mr. JYT, the last man standing, he has all the responsibilities on him.
Yes, of course, a huge responsibility coming on his shoulder. He was able to knock one out, but can he do it again? No, it's not a possibility. And just like that, the apes have been slayed, and just like that, Team OG is out of equation. That's the sad side to watch, but eventually, this is how the game is going on. Moving up ahead, this team who has actually cherished this amazing four amazing kills, they are actually looking sharp in the lobby, and right now, their motivation is actually going to be on another level. Now, it's all about the consistency. If they are able to do this kind of stuff back and forth, then I believe this team will be able to get the first booyah of this particular day.
Absolutely. I think White Lightning has done very well for them, capitalizing on Orangutan Lily, a team which wasn't great from yesterday, but the first match was not in their favor. And Vitality, this is their territory, Mars Electric Factory, and even you can consider the Pochinok area, which falls in their territory. But I'm surprised to see Orangutan Elite taking such a drastic step, a huge rotation along the way. They are usually seen in the clock tower, but this has not done a good job for them. And Team Evolution also coming and capturing this zone. Definitely, zone is a huge part, and that's going to favor Pochinok. A lot of teams are going to be attracted, but still seeing 44 players alive, this could be a little dicey situation.
Oh, indeed, indeed. As far as the zone is concerned, it is going to shrink down really very soon, and eventually these giants which are still surviving, 44 to be precise, are the number of players which are still surviving in the lobby. Well, they are going to get connected very soon, and after that, I guess the dormant period is actually going to get over really very soon. A lot of chaos is about to be there, and we are just waiting and let's say just praying for those clashes coming up. At this moment, if we talk about this particular team, they have attained one amazing kill into their perspective. Team T is the name. Shinu is there, Killer is there, Roshan is there, and the other guy is also surviving. But the play zone is something which is actually going to attack them quite a bit because you have to pay your respect to the circle and the play zone as well.
Absolutely, you have to make your way into the zone, and zone is not very distant, but there will be a lot of teams gatekeeping, like we saw Vitality on the higher grounds of the Mars Electric. That could cause a trouble, but let's see how Iconic takes the decision and takes his team forward here. Orangutan in trouble. We have already seen the team completely being wiped out, and the first team to be eliminated. That means you have not got enough number of placement points. Yesterday you were at the top, but today's start could be a little troublesome, and table is again open for a lot of teams, especially the teams who were right behind them. We can talk about Assassin Army and Zero Degree. These teams may have to do a lot of job, and Gaming Sports have somewhere reached a solid compound. This could be a good situation, and let's see how they pick their next fight.
Indeed, have a right kind of compound in your favor, then I guess the defensive position can be actually very, very fruitful for you. But eventually, the clashes will be delivered. The fights are actually going to be there for sure. Let's see how Team Kevin Esports, Anand Beam, Swastik, and the other guy manages to pull it out. Well, as you can see, crew walls have been appointed. The enemy is right here, right now, and the shots are coming up. Constantly trying their level best to bait it out and eventually get some good blows.
Absolutely, Kevin Eastwood are looking for this good fight and good number of kills. If they can get those, this can be a good situation for Kevin Eastwood. But also showing patience can be a good considered situation there, because right behind them it's going to be godlike Eastwood. They have also entered the territory of Pochinok, and like we expected, Raider, it was Pochinok, the central zone, the central final shift
Yeah.
is along there, and we have 11 teams with 44 men surviving, and constantly the player are being lost, and godlike maintain their match advantage could be a good situation. Yesterday we have seen the teams who are maintaining their man-to-man power was always in a good situation.
You have the manpower, you are going to get the backup, you are going to get the right kind of support, and that is something every single player demands. Because eventually, at this kind of stage, you want that backup, you want that support. Because if you are the last man standing, just like what happened to Jay from OG, that is actually something which is going to happen to you as well. But right now, if we talk about Team Godlike, after losing one good member from Team Godlike, the other players are surviving. The other guys are actually trying their level best to just sneak in and eventually pull through with the gameplay. We have got Away, we have got the other guys also surviving. But right now, on the other side, in the compounds, a lot of backlash is coming from Kimin's corner as well.
Absolutely, a lot of team are already gonna take that spot, but godlike the three-man squad have lost their IGL and the captain. But you know what I'm surprised to see? I've seen Trollex playing with Assassin Army today, who usually sticks with the Team Mafia, and Team Mafia have chosen Snake. That could be a big question, and we could discuss about that later. But before that, let's see on the five. Constantly, players are being lost, and Zero Degree also engaging in a fight. 33 players surviving, and Zero Degree in a very good situation, in a very good compound. On the other side, Assassin Army is going to be eliminated, and within 30 seconds, another zone shrink will start.
Well, indeed, the zone shrink is going to start very rapidly, and eventually the players have to just find the right kind of place for themselves to hide out, or should I say, to survive. And eventually, while surviving, they have to head out and eventually get some good blows as well. On the other corner, if we talk about teams like Zero Degree and AG, they don't have any kind of losses. But look at those shots coming up. But then again, the retaliation also comes in. The counter fire is actually coming up, and Team TE Killer 10 is actually knocked out at this moment. Will there be a possible revival coming up? We'll be seeing it really very soon. And there we go. The revival comes in just like that. The guy is back in the charming regions. But Roshan and Killer, they both have to patch themselves. Killer manages to patch himself. Roshan, if I talk about that guy, he has to do some job. But other than that, this team is not looking that sharp at this moment, but still they are surviving, barely holding up to the edges. But then again, survival is something they are actually doing really very good.
Really, and Team Evolution could be the team in form, but Killer again being knocked out. Not a good encounter here, and Iconic also knocked down. Could be in a troublesome situation. And Roshan trying to revive the player. Yes, he's doing a fairly good job, but Sheenu, who is trying to provide the right cover, is also knocked out. Team Evolution could be completely wiped out here. They got to watch out the team right in front of them, because Sheenu has given them a good cover, and now it's all on Roshan and Killer, because Iconic is completely finished, and it's the three-man squad surviving from Team Evolution. Also, they have to reach the zone. They have the enough utilities and the resources to reach? No, maybe not. Roshan knocked out again, but cover is costly being provided. Sheenu cannot revive Roshan nor Killer. It's the last man standing of Team Evolution, and the situation which was looking pretty favorable for them has turned out very miserable now.
It's very dicey at this moment. Let's see how the survival is actually going to get impacted. Is it going to be a possible scenario? Vending machine is here, but right now he is going to patch himself. Is it going to be a possibility? Oh, the blue zone is going to attack him on fire, and just like that, he is also knocked out.
Yes, but in that situation, that he has done a fairly good job reviving Iconic, but Iconic without the loot, can he make it happen? Could be a very troublesome situation. Last man standing from Team Evolution, but let's have a look at other teams who are surviving. Team Mafia, Aura Gaming, especially maintaining their man-to-man advantage is going to be a very good situation. And Iconic, look, he's doing his part, he's doing his bit, he knows how to survive, because eventually it's all about survival. And Team Mafia here, maybe they were looking in a troublesome situation yesterday, but here we have seen the first match coming out very strong from them. They are looking sharper. Four-man squad surviving. Delete, they have Pain and also the Mafia Bala, who's taking in charge in absence of Ozia Java. Let's see Team Mafia, can they secure the Booyah? It can be a very good Booyah and very good number of points they can gain.
Oh, indeed, indeed. If they are actually going to get that Booyah, obviously a lot of shifts are going to be there in the leaderboard, and that is something we are keen to watch out. For the moment, only one kills from their corner, 19 players are still surviving, so a lot of eliminations can be delivered. Look at those shots coming up from his corner. He ate up 198 HP, but on the other corner, one more team has been taken out of the equation. Now we are left with quite a few teams, and eventually, if we talk about the manpower, look at that team Gaming Esports as well, Team Zane Esports as well, or should I say Team Mafia, AG. Every single team has got the 4-man power, but Cayman is getting connected. Team Mafia is constantly trying to wreak havoc, and just like that, some more knockouts coming from Team Mafia's corner.
Absolutely, Team Mafia is doing their bit, but all the teams right in front of them also maintaining their man-to-man advantage in the final zone. Like in beautiful knock by Pain. It's a beautiful knock, and legendary Pain is going God mode. He has got 6 kills with his beautiful grenade. Explosive weapons, the way he uses is absolute brilliance. Like in Mafia Bala need to take charge. He's in trouble right now. Delete is also going short. Then Pain is the last man standing. He gotta survive, but I think it's going to be Aura Gaming against the Team Mafia. Team Mafia, can he do it? Pain has got all the responsibilities in front of him. Last 4 players surviving. Yes, he has got a sniper in his hand. Can he provide the damage? If he can, then all he got to do is rush in on the player and finish it off the job. And yes, it's the Wicked Six securing the booyah for the team. It's the Team Mafia, and whole credit, I could say, big credit goes to Team Pain.
And domination coming from the Mafia as well. They are back in the Sunshine region. The performance they are actually pulling through is absolutely amazing. The way they kept out was absolutely amazing, maintaining the manpower, holding the right kind of ridges, holding the right kind of break on wall, and with that, the right kind of let's say mixture of bullets and throwables was absolutely amazing. Along with the blue walls, they were attacking as well, meanwhile maintaining their defensive position as well, and that was something very, very amazing to watch out. The Mafias, the way they actually got this booyah was absolutely amazing, and right now all the other teams are going to get worried if Team Mafia is actually going on and rampage, if they will be able to get 1 or 2 more booyahs in the whole day of the day number 2, to be precise, Indian qualifiers. Well, that is going to be quite critical for OG as well, because right now OG might be chilling at #1 position, but if this kind of position, if this kind of performance comes in back and forth from Team Mafia, troublesome situation will be delivered.
Absolutely, because you saw Pain delivering some big blows to the team in front of them. That was somewhere around Aura Gaming, and he was brilliantly playing. He was taking all the responsibility for the team. He got somewhere around 7 or 8 kills, and that was the kills part. If you talk about the placement, you have got the booyah, you have got nothing to worry about, and Pain, a whole huge credit go to him for getting Team Mafia back into the game. Maybe day 1 was not very good, but day 2 is definitely a great start for the team, and not a good start for Orangutan. It was the first team to be eliminated. Maybe if you have not got kills, you have got 0 points. So you are still stuck at somewhere 108, the place you finished yesterday. And let's see all the other teams also. We saw 0 Degree, Aura Gaming yesterday dropping at the last bottom of the table. Now they are trying to back up. Now they are trying to make a great comeback. And that's it. That is, I think, what the fans are waiting for.
Oh, indeed, that comeback is actually going to be quite crucial, because Team Mafias, the way they are actually coming back is absolutely amazing. They are dominating, they're back and forth showing their kind of skills, and eventually the manpower is something which was absolutely amazing. The support coming from team members was absolutely amazing. Yeah, we know that Pain actually did a number on the enemies, but then again, Pain was able to do so just because of his teammates, just because of the support coming from teammates. That is something you guys have to actually watch out. If you are a new budding esports athlete for Free Fire Max, you have to be witnessing that if the manpower is there, if you have the support of your teammate, you can easily crush the souls of any other team, be it Godlike, be it Gaming Esports, be it Insane Esports or OG, whatever team is in front of you, you can deliver them out of the lobby. But yes, of course, guys, you have to maintain that synergy, you have to maintain that consistency, and eventually learn the strategies that these giants are actually holding up. So that's why, guys, tune in on the stream, and if you want to enjoy the stream on Hindi, yes, of course, you can tune in that language as well, because we are streaming in Hindi as well. Make sure you tune in, and meanwhile, Purgatory is getting propped up, I believe.
Yes, players must be getting ready for their second match, which is going to be the Map of Islands Purgatory. Let's see what they have in package for them, because that is where you start the comeback. If you have lost on the first match, you still have 5 match on their way and 5 opportunities for the day 2, and you don't want to lose on every one of them. Team Mafia has done a fairly good job, but Aura Gaming also looking for a comeback. They have also got decent number of kills, decent number of points, a very good comeback, a very good start is what we can see from Gaming Sport, Aura Gaming, 0 Degree, and teams like these. While on the other side, we can talk about these teams doing a fairly good job, but Team Mafia with their lineup, I'm pretty surprised to see Snake joining them and Trolix not being a part of it. Trolix, while playing from Assassin Army, Assassin Army was somewhere on the top 4 of order, but today, let's see if they can continue that momentum yesterday, which they built. They definitely have to do that. Otherwise, that could be a big trouble situation for them.
Oh, indeed. As far as I am actually concerned, teams are evolving, and the other teams are getting predictable. Be it teams like OG or teams like Assassin Gaming, because the way they want to perform is something which already the enemy knows. They know that way they are going to drop in. They know how their rotations are coming up. But I believe once again their IGL is going to cook up some new strategy, and we are going to witness some new kind of carnage in the upcoming matches, and that could be something very very amazing to watch out. Five more matches for the day are left right now. We've got two purgatories to be precise, two Kalahari and one Bermuda left at this moment. So we'll be witnessing how the whole situation goes on. Well, Bermuda is one of those maps where you can actually put your 110% type of strength. But then again, if you talk about Purgatory, definitely I would love to see the kind of, let's say, play zone where the water body is going to get concerned in the last few zones. And today in the Nepali qualifiers, we saw that kind of scenario. Let's see what Indian qualifier is actually going to hold up to. Team Mafias once again looking strong, and the safe zone, the first safe zone to be precise, is going to appear in just 38 seconds. So you have to be ready and you have to be prepped up.
Yes, absolutely. You have to be ready to move into the zone, but first zone doesn't cause you a lot of trouble, doesn't give you a
Yeah.
lot of danger. You can still take that damage, and we have 44 players survive. Does that mean one of the team is completely being eliminated? Maybe it could be a result of the clash landing. That has always been a trouble, especially if we talk about Purgati, the second match, and teams want to make a comeback. They want to grab those points. They want to grab those drop clashes and conquer their territory. And Team Mafia has surviving in their territory. They don't have to worry much about it. They have done a fairly good job in the previous match, and Crossroads are looking very safe. Mafia Bala on the extreme end trying to enhance his loot with the Car 98 and yes, a Kingfisher. And we see a lot of fights happening around. Vitality also somewhere engaging in a beautiful fight. And let's talk about Reverend Esport. Reverend Esport knows how to capitalize on the Bermuda, but the situations have turned out so unfavorable, so strong. The competition is top notch that they are also struggling a lot.
Competition has to be top notch because look at the stage. This is Asia Cup where we have actually quite a few teams coming from Asia. Quite a few countries are actually fighting for their own kind of domination. But at this moment, if we talk about Cordel, well, they have attained two amazing kills in their perspective. I believe some more players are actually going to lurk in the shadows. Let's see how the eliminations will be covered up. Ginotra, if I talk about Nivesh, little bit low on HP, but I guess he'll be back in the Sunshine region after patching himself. But on the other corner, if we talk about this particular team, we have got Johnson at 7, we have got Kaushik Malik, we have got Ankit, we have got Tryout in the scene. Let's see how their performance is going to get calibrated. For the moment, if I talk about this particular team, a little bit close to the bridges, and that can be very critical because you can be open-ended and covers are something which can be very, very futile at this point. But let's see, let's figure out what will happen.
Absolutely, that's a vulnerable position to be in. If you're on the open grounds, you can be spotted easily. But Brasilia, the central spot, like I used to call it, the capital of Purgatory, they want to play it safe here. They want to be at the center of the zone, that the zone doesn't trouble you a lot. And here we have Tryout. Also, we can see Team Evolution doing a good job on the loot, like they did in the last time. They got good number of kills, but the last stage, maybe they were eliminated somewhere on the mid part of the game where they had to enter the zone. So they got to focus on how they enter the zone, how they do their rotations right, and that's what they will be looking forward this time. Shino, Killer, Roshan, iconic. There's no substitute. There's no change in the lineup. They want to stick with it because they must be looking very confident with this.
Confident with the lineup there. Why should actually the shifts come in? And if the shifts are there, the synergy won't work out. And if synergy is coming up, I guess the shifts should not be there. And now moving up ahead, the vending machine has been summoned, and they are going to get some good loots and utilities for sure. Gaming Esports along with Vitality has been wiped out from the face of this particular match. That's Purgatory. If I talk about 0 Degree, they are in the Moth House, and if I talk about Boss, they are actually working their way in the Marble Works. Lumberville has been covered by Team Revenant. Godlike is in the Forge. Fields has been covered up, but I am excited to see how AG, Assassin, and eventually Team Insane Esports is going to work out because these are the three teams to be precise which are working their way in the Brasilia region, and that can be critical. We might see some early clashes.
I think that's what we are expecting. Aura Gaming already gave a big blow to Assassin Army. Assassin Army yesterday did a fairly good job, but now they have to continue that in the day two. Aura Gaming on the other side yesterday were looking trouble. Today they are trying to make a very good comeback right now. And the only team wiped out are going to be Kemin Esport or Vitality. Somewhere game has picked up that pace. Game has also picked up that dynamic momentum, and you never know when you're going to be surprised. 39 players still surviving. Aura Gaming maintaining their man-to-man advantage. I think all the teams have realized if they have that 4-man advantage, it's easy to capitalize all those fights. And current status, you can see the only team struggling a bit right now with their manpower is going to be Assassin Army with 3-man squad, and Team Evolution has done early rotation. I think they are working on their mistakes, and that is somewhere looking good for them.
If you are actually able to evolve as per your mistakes in the previous one, I think you are more than capable to gain some good points, and that's what these guys are actually trying to do and go for. That's interesting. If I talk about this particular team, Shino, Killer, Roshan, and Iconic are the 4-man power of this particular team, empty-handed for the moment. 39 players are surviving in the lobby. That means still we have a huge amount of clash to come in. Team Mafias, after that amazing booyah, I think so that team is actually going to play a little bit more safe for the first few zones, and after that they are going to pop their heads off so that they can maintain their consistency. Even if they actually are going to get eliminated soon enough, I believe being consistent and actually getting an average of 10 to 15 points in this particular match can easily maintain their kind of incline, or should I say, the rise in the leaderboard.
Control in the game very soon, but they know how to survive till the last. They know how to carry that forward, and I think that's the passive approach they are also going to take in this match. And now players are looking very consistent now. If we talk about Team Insane Esport, Aura Gaming controlling on the Brasilia, because they know that this is going to be favored zone for a longer time, and Team Mafia have done their rotations. Delete struggling. I was thinking he has spotted a player and was going for the fight, but yes, he want to enhance his loot with everything possible, holding the scythe in his hand and got his favorite gun also, AC-80. He does a lot of damage with that. We have seen it happening, and Team Mafia somewhere are or also on the scout. If they see the players around, they are seeing that if they can spot any other team, they want to avoid the fight or take the fight. That's going to be a very good call, and that's what I think they are looking for.
Indeed, the fights are going to be there, and every player is just hunting for those kind of scenarios coming up. If we talk about this kind of situation, well, I believe Team Revenant is also trying their levelers to be in the zone. Some players are in the zone, some players are a little bit on the edges of the particular play zone, but still they have actually got the right kind of courage into their perspective. Let's see how the fights will be delivered. But right now, we all know Purgatory is basically three islands, and eventually it is crossed over by a lot of water bodies, and eventually a lot of bridges are there right now. So let's see how these teams are going to travel with it, and eventually on the bridges, a very futile, let's say, attempt can actually be delivered. Some good shots can be delivered on the players which are trying to rotate from those bridges. But right now, if we're talking about Emoji Elite, they are trying their level best to rectify the mistake that they did in the previous one.
Absolutely, Orangutan doesn't want to repeat their mistake, and they know how to control their game. But I'm pretty surprised to see their rotation. They are seen on the extreme end, and they are also being spotted. Pahari needs to take up this fight, but dealing a lot of damage. Spotted by Raja OP from Revenant Esports. Again, a big blow. You gotta keep yourself alert. You gotta keep your eyes on everywhere. And now surviving with a three-man squad, Revenant trouble them and would look forward to wipe this team out. But let's see how they take this fight. They've also secured this vehicle, if you see, on the Revenants. And while on the other side, Mr. Jay Whitey is going on the outer of the zone. Maybe they want to change their rotation. Vasu Siaji has given revive to Pahadi because he's a much valuable player and shifting their zone. But Revenant also trying to capitalize the zone. That's going to be a very crucial thing to do right now.
Indeed. If they are trying their level best to be in the zone, that is actually going to be the call out for these guys. And look at that, if we talk about Emoji, well, holding up and trying their level best to be in the zone right now. Let's see how far they can actually approach, because some player can easily sneak up onto them and eventually take them apart. That can be a very critical, or should I say, a very dangerous situation for this particular team. Moving up ahead, Bridge is also going to be favored by some of the members. On the other corner, if we talk about this area, Revenant is still surviving, still not even a single finish from the corner, but AG, one good guy from AG manages to axe out another guy from the equation.
Absolutely, but Revenant has avoided the fight. I think they are still looking for that fight. The fight is not over yet. The player is being chased, and that could be a tsunami.
Wow.
Yes. And again, Orangutan players being spotted. Pahadi being knocked out again. Mistakes. You don't have to repeat, else your team could be in trouble. Yesterday, the momentum that you gained could be lost in a second, and Revenant are doing that. Revenant do not capitalize the previous fight, but now they are looking forward to grab those kills and grab those numbers, if we talk about it. And Revenant Viper trying to heal up. That is not enough. Time is not sufficient. Old Monk does the job, clears the vehicle, finishes off the player. Now it's the three-man surviving from Revenant Esport, and the Igel has been completely knocked out. The fight is still not over. Old Monk will be chased, and I think Revenant will want to finish that fight.
No, indeed. They are trying their level best to survive, and meanwhile trying to deliver some good, let's say, punches at this moment. If we talk about Olmang, look at those shots coming up from his own corner. He's trying his level best to just push Team Revenant or eventually eliminate them at this moment. Is it going to be a possibility? That is something we have to be watching out for. Olmang constantly is trying his level best to attain some good shots, but failing to do so. To be precise, the damage is there for sure, but then again, not enough to put the enemy down.
That's what he's looking for. But Vasius Yarje barges in, rushes in to knock the player, and yes, he does the job. Since the time of addition of Vasius Yarje, Orangutan definitely has evolved to a next level, but they got to show their performance and maintain the consistency. That is going to be a very crucial thing to watch out for. Aura Gaming survive with the foreign squad. Team Insane Esport also, like we said, Brasilia has gone with the central spot. It's going to favor the zone, and that's what these teams already worked on it and maintaining their composure and calm state right now. But Team Insane Esport looking forward for a fight against the Godlike, and Godlike could be in trouble completely being knocked out. That could be a dicey situation.
Yeah, If that actually happens, that can be very dicey. It can be very, very critical for that particular team. Moving up ahead, I guess maintaining the manpower is something which Team OG is failing to, let's say, achieve at this moment. Pahadi has to be raised up. Pahadi has to be back in the scenario. And if he is back in the game, obviously a lot of shifts can be delivered. Let's see what happens. Eventually, they are very close to the recall center. But then, is it possible? Well, there we go. We have enemies on that corner. I believe the shots are coming up. 98 damage has been dealt. But then again, is it enough? Vasi on the other corner managed to survive a bit more. He's trying his level best to be the sneaky guy and eventually create a flank-like situation so that the booyah can be delivered and the revival can be actually done.
Absolutely, that's what they are looking forward right now. But Pahadi being knocked out again, this puts the team in a lot of pressure, which they don't want to be. And it's the time for a comeback right now, especially after the first match was not in their favor. The competition is top notch. Teams in front of them can produce a lot of trouble and challenges for you, and you got to watch that out for team and surviving. But now you can be in a favorable situation. You have to only capture the zone. You have the vehicles, and Old Monk and Mr. JYT I think are sent forward by the Vasi Siaje, and Vasi Siaje will be coming in late. And team Insane Esports still surviving very easily, holding the compounds, which is a very good spot. But Brasilia zone is not going to be far from them, and team Insane Esports definitely want to maintain their consistency.
Yeah, indeed, they want to actually survive. They want to actually maintain their kind of a consistency, but it's not going to be an easy task because all the other teams which are surviving in the lobby, they are definitely trying to pull through quite a few blows, and they are actually trying their level best to attain some good points. The Revenant on the other corner manages to attain some more compounds. Let's see what happens to them because one amazing kill is already delivered in their hand. But other than that, if I talk about team. Insane Esports, let's see how their performance will be delivered because we have Shivam, we have Zian, we have Vishal, we have RN545. But then again, on the other corners, the zone are also pushing them back and forth.
Absolutely, zone is going to cause you a lot of trouble, but big names being eliminated. Orangutan in trouble. Team Mafias completely wiped out, especially the first match, Booyah. You are expecting the consistency, but teams are going to be facing a lot of challenges today. And Team Insane Esport knows what to do. They know what they have to do. And OG Elite also being eliminated. It's the 22 players surviving. The Aura Gaming, like we saw the last time, they were maintaining their 4-man squad. This time also they are looking for that. But Team Evolution, this team could cause a lot of big blows to you. And Boss Official, I haven't seen them much in action today. Let's see what they have in package for us.
Let's see how the performance will be delivered. You can already see shots are coming up for sure. The damages were amazing. The quadra kill comes in, and just like that, this particular Team Insane Esports survives a bit more, and that was an interesting blowout coming from the corner. Love the way they actually are fencing out. 4 amazing kills are delivered. 20 players are surviving, out of which, let's say, quite a few teams are getting pushed. Assassin's army is out of equation. That's a sad sight to watch. Eventually, big dogs are actually getting eliminated. Be it Vitality, Gaming Esports, Team Mafia, Godlike. Eventually, Assassin's army is also out of equation. OG Elite is out of equation. Right now, we are about to see a fresh phase getting a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful booyah.
Let's see how these players outperform them. And Revenant with a 4-man squad. A minute ago, they were surviving with only 2 players, but the revivals have been a very crucial play for all the teams here. 22 players again, and Revenant want to capitalize the zone. Now, I think Water Body is not going to trouble you much. The final zone will be on the land, and this Revenant can definitely do not much trouble. And if players are spotted, they want to grab those kills. Raja has done a job. He has spotted the player. He's also looking with a sniper. No, I'm sorry. It's the VSSX, which will cause a lot of damage for you. Players are constantly being revived. Aura Gaming still maintaining their 4-man squad. Team Evolution also doing the same job. And Revenant, I think this team is looking favorably strong right now and wanna make the booyah which they missed on the first match.
Were able to appoint quite a few damages on the enemy, but then again, the number of finishes, the number of kills that they are attaining is not that far ahead as compared to some other teams. But right now, if I talk about Revenant, well, they're constantly trying to wreak havoc on every team, to be precise. On every single moving object is actually on the crosshairs of Team Revenant, and that's interesting to watch out. Right now, Revenant is maintaining the manpower, the backup is coming back and forth. But is it going to be enough? That is something we are going to be waiting and watching for. Team Evolution, well, we have Killer trying his level best to delegate some good shots, but then again, he got damaged. Glue walls have been appointed. He's trying his level best to survive a bit more. But is it going to be an easy task? I hope so. Well, look at those amazing shots coming from Killer's corner. That is, again, another level of domination coming up. But if I talk about Iconic, well, that guy has been knocked out. Revival is coming up for sure. The revival will be delivered, but Shino also gets knocked out. That's sad to watch out right now. The revivals will be delivered. Let's see, is it going to be an easy task? Not so good.
No. Really, Team Evolution has been struggling a lot today, especially Killer. You don't see him like that. And Boss Official Gatekeeping did a fairly good job for themselves, but not for Team Evolution. Roshan is the last man standing. We saw the same kind of thing happening in the previous match also. If your team chokes, it's always in trouble. And look at Team Insane Esport, who were holding the compass of Brasilia for so long, was surprised by Revenant Esport and also being wiped out by Revenant Esport. And like I said, this team is looking very strong right now. I think they wanna focus on their booyah.
Oh, indeed, indeed. Every single team which is surviving at this moment, be it Team Evolution Esports, be it Team Revenant or Boss Official to be precise at this moment, want to get that beautiful booyah into their consideration. Look at those shots coming up from Boss's corner. Eventually, will they be able to tag them apart is going to be another big question. But look at those vehicles getting into flame. Let's see what happens eventually. The damage is for sure coming up, but right now, the close calls, the quarter fights are actually also coming up. Let's see what happens and how the results are going to get varied away. People are actually trying to rotate, people are trying to cut some flanks, and they are definitely successful in it because Boss Official is actually becoming, let's say, the center of attraction for the moment.
Absolutely. Also, the bridge which they are holding right now, Legend with a single sniper trying to cause the damage right in front of them. But I think Team Evolution, Rosh in the last man standing is still want to survive and get the second placement point at least. But it's a big surprise and big blow to Revenant Esports, IGL and the captain Viper. Now it's all on Boss Official to secure this booyah. They are maintaining their matchman advantage. Rushing on the player with a penta kill. Boss Samrat does the damage. Roshan has no choice but to escape, and yes, he's being knocked out. 5 players surviving now. The last man standing could be from Revenant Esport. Boss Official, it's gonna be easy victory. Yes, with Revenant Esport being wiped out, it's the easy call and it's easy booyah that they wanna secure. The player is constantly trying to use this to his advantage, but no way, you cannot escape Boss Official. Coming for action, coming for a beautiful comeback. It's the Boss Official securing the second booyah.
Just like the name says, we are the boss, we are the official boss, and right now, if I'm not wrong, the kind of consistency, the kind of manpower Boss Official showed in the last few seconds were absolutely amazing. No doubt, Revenant was actually trying their level best to be into the particular play zone, but then again, the flank that Revenant actually created was something which was quite chaotic. Two good vehicles were chosen. They were trying to flank. They tried to flank from the right direction. They tried to flank from the left direction, and every single direction was countered back by Boss Official. And the last guy from Evolution Esports, he was just trying to, let's say, avoid everything. He was just trying to be really very safe, really very patient, and eventually the patience paid him off because he got the second position.
Yes, I think patience did pay him off, and patience is a virtue. That's what the job did for Roshan. And but the condition that was shown from Team Evolution, they were man advantage when they were entering the zone. But all of a sudden, the one player knocks out. Chino goes for the cover, trying to revive that player, but also being knocked out. That is a very dicey situation for you. You don't want to do that. That's somewhere what you call a choke. And again, Killer going outside trying to iconic. He could not revive any one of them and also being knocked out. That's what not you expect from Team Evolution and Boss Official. The main advantage that they had was of the zone. Revenant Esports somewhere encountering any fights that was ahead of them. They were securing their fight. Those engagement were great, but eventually the zone, which didn't favor them, was a big trouble situation. And somewhere that's what I see that Revenant. That's where they lost the booyah.
Indeed, that can be the, once again, let's say, the explanation of those losses of Booyah. But particularly if I talk about teams like Team Mafias and OG Aries, the way they are getting diminished quite early, even God, like even Kevin Esports went out quite early. That is something actually that is disheartening my mind at this moment because the kind of legacy that these teams actually hold is not actually been shown. But there could be a strategy where these teams are not actually showing themselves at the full power and they're not exporting their kind of, let's say, right strategies that they are actually wanting to showcase. I believe after the qualifications, I guess those strategies are going to get appointed. But before that, we are having the map, the Red Desert, the Kalahari region is actually about to happen. Let's see how the fights are going to get delivered. Foundation is about to, let's say, get flooded with the teams. And is it going to be an amazing task for these teams to survive or not? Well, we'll be seeing it very, very soon.
Absolutely, that's what it looks like. And Bayfront is going to be the high tier loot. You want to get those MA2B, you want to get those beautiful sniper for your sniper player, you got to capitalize that. But here we have the clash against the Unchef trying to control the fight, but no way possible. 0 degree in trouble right now. Clashes are gaining momentum. Clashes are a lot seen, especially from the Purgatory, which we didn't expect in Bermuda. But yes, that was the scenario there. But finally, the game has gained its pace. Team Mafia with their 4-man advantage. Yes, the last match was not very good for them. First match was beautiful, and consistency is definitely going to be a huge question. But Santa Catrina is going to be a favorable spot, and no players around, no opponents around. They want to do that, but 0 degree. Look at them, a team in huge trouble. But I think 3 kills in Blackboard, they have wiped out the team in front of them and could revive Unch FF also with 2-man squad. Will want to control the situation and grab those tokens and revive their lost players.
Definitely, revival should be something they should consider at this moment. And eventually, the tokens have been grabbed. Now they are actually going to focus on the revivals, and if the revival is possible, the team will be reunited, and eventually the carnage from this team will be shown really very soon. But three amazing kills is already there into the consideration. It's now the time to get the revival done and dusted. It's time to actually bring back the legacy of the team. But let's see what Zero Degree will be able to hold up to, because right now three kills are there. Definitely not enough, but then again enough to, let's say, hold their momentum, hold their kind of hunger of finishes for a little bit period of a time.
Absolutely, and now they have gained the time, especially after the beautiful clutch by Blackboard. They have enough time to capitalize and control their territory of Foundation. After that, they can go on to their next fight, next encounter. Let's see how they rotate. That's going to be a big question for them. And here we have the Orangutan still struggling to make their mark. The legacy is still not being found. Pahadi, Mr. Jay Whitey, Old Mock, Vasi Syajay. This is not what you expect from the team. Yesterday, they showcased their full potential. They showcased their talent. But today, they are lacking out. Maybe they got to work on their analysis and what is going wrong. They have to study that real quick.
They have to analyze, their coaches have to analyze, their IGL has to analyze that what is going wrong and wrong, to be precise. But right now, if we talk about OG Elite, I think that they might be able to come back in this particular match, but eventually thinking is not something which is going to happen really very soon. Casta's curse could be delivered very soon, but right now, if we talk about the live locations, every single team is, let's say, pretty much separated, and eventually is holding this their own kind of region, and the clashes are not going to be here anytime soon. But eventually, when the zone will push in, definitely those clashes are going to get converted. But for the moment, this is Team Aura Gaming trying to just decipher that way the enemies are going to come in. And eventually, guys, in every single battlegrounds, in every single type of fight, you know that if you have the upper ridge, you can easily pan out the view and give your teammates a call out that, yeah, there we go, we have a push coming up, or you can easily land some good shots. Eventually, holding the down ridge is something which is easily going to, let's say, give you a 30% downside in a particular fight.
Absolutely, and that is a great bonus in Kalahari. It's all about vertical component, how you utilize the height advantage. But look at this, Boss Official Raider is the only team being eliminated at the first place, which secured the Booyah in the previous match. So it's not easy to maintain the momentum. It's not easy to maintain the consistency today, and that's what teams are showing. 44 players surviving, every team with their 4-man power, and Boss Official again must be thinking what went wrong, especially with the previous Booyah. It's not going to be easy to maintain that consistency. Let's see, Revenant team, Evolution team, Insane Esports, Zero will be all the teams maintaining their manpower, because they have realized if they carry that till the last moment, it's going to be an easy Booyah for them.
See, basically, it is happening like it's a coincidence or what, I don't know. But eventually, Team Mafia got that Booyah, and after that,
Yes.
what happened in the second match in the Purgatory? They went out quite early, I guess, if I'm not wrong. They went out in the last position, to be precise. On the other corner, if we talk about the map of Purgatory, the team which actually got that Booyah, they are actually getting diminished in this one quite early.
Yes.
And right now, I think the third match is actually going to be quite critical for them. But after that, the circle is actually going to repeat. Once again, we are going to witness Bermuda, Purgi, and eventually Kalahari is also going to be there for us. And that will sum up the day number 2 of the Indian qualifiers. But then again, is it going to be an opportunistic fight? Well, we'll be seeing it very, very soon. And if we talk about teams like Team Mafias and teams like Team Boss Official, they have done their part. They have actually attained a beautiful Booyah. But right now, consistency is something which is going to call out a few things, because if you're not consistent, you won't be able to get qualified. Only the top 3 teams are going to get qualified from every single region, every single country, to be precise, after the country qualifiers, after the regional qualifiers, to be precise. So yes, of course, you have to be in that cream layer, you have to be in that top 3, and then only you will be able to show your faces to the fans in the next upcoming ventures. But right now, if we talk about this guy, look at the kind of upper edge he's holding.
Absolutely, but I'm surprised to see Kemin Esport have conquered the central location, that is the refinery, without clashing with Orangutan Elite. So Orangutan Elite definitely had made those changes, have done some experiment. But let's see a fight where Team Insane Esport are engaging a fight up against the Revenant Esport, and Revenant Esport, let's see if they can capture Shivam trying to knock down a player, but going to use very beautifully. Also, the glue wall coming up from Shivam is amazing right now. Can he control the fight? He does a lot of damage and knocks out Freeze very beautifully. Beautiful showcase of a movement here, and constantly running around using the inhaler to heal himself is going to do the job. But surprise coming up from the support of Revenant Esport. Team Insane Esport is surviving with the 2-man squad. Zian and Arnes got to take the responsibility. Flash freeze, the poison grenade is being thrown. Explosives are beautifully used. If there's one grenade in front of the player, Arnes could be easily knocked out. But Arnes got to show the pace. Now, on the other side, it's the Aura Gaming fighting against the Team Evolution, doing a lot of damage. And Arnes, let's see if he can control up against the Reverend East. So there's a rush coming up, lot of damage being provided. But Arnes trying to survive the fight and get those points. But there's no way possible. The support that is being provided from the Reverend Esport has been really amazing.
Well, indeed, the triple kills are coming up, but finally, if I talk about this perspective, the last guy is going to be Zian. He's way too far away. He was trying his level best to counter back the particular fight, but right now, revival is something which is going to be quite crucial for the team. Collecting the tokens is definitely not going to be an easy task, but look at the amazing shots coming from his corner. He's trying his level best. 60 damage once again done and dusted. Right now, one last bullet can easily end the story.
Absolutely, Zian could do that damage, but the last man standing also put a lot of pressure on you that you have to carry your team forward if you could finish off the fight. But it's 1v1. Does the Zian know that if he would try to chase down his player and finish off the fight, because Ursh is trying to back out. Maybe he has enough number of tokens. He saw a lot of crates down there. He would be going for that vending machine and revive his other three players. But I've seen something, Raider, like you discussed, that the team which secures the Booyah or was surviving till the last, in the next match, eventually collapses, eventually chokes down, and that's what you can see here. Aura Gaming surviving in the solo player, Team Insane Esport in the same state, and Reverend Esport, Boss Official. These teams you were seeing in the last stage of previous match, and now the tables have turned and beautifully turned, and that's what teams are doing for comebacks, and consistency always is going to be very challenging. But Team Mafia, after the first Booyah, wanna get that again, and maybe they are very focused on that. 38 players still surviving. We'll see a safe zone coming up very soon in 20 seconds.
Well, indeed, the safe zone is about to be here anytime soon, and eventually that is going to push this particular team a little bit more to the zone side. But if we talk about Team Mafia, they are pretty much dominant. Zero frags into the corner. They are looking very vigilant in terms of the position that they are actually holding up. But right now, being in the zone is going to be quite crucial. And you can already see that the recall location is in front of them, so that is why they are just holding it up and eventually gatekeeping that particular place. If anybody wants to go and get their teammates recalled or let's say revived in this game, they are going to face off Team Mafia if they actually went on that side.
Absolutely. If you want to go to use the vending machine on the Santa Catrina end, it's going to be a big surprise for you there, because they are holding their position really well, and Team Mafia patiently want to use that survival tactic and show the passive approach that they can hold the compound for long, because zone is not very far from them. They know when they have to move in, and that's what I think Team Evolution also wants to do. They are also getting to the right compound, wants to hold the right place so that it becomes easy for them to cause that rotation. 41 players still alive. Again, the game has turned its way to the passive approach, and the players know that how they have to carry their team forward, and Team Evolution doesn't want to repeat their mistake of choking down.
Yeah, indeed. They don't want to repeat. Nobody wants to repeat the kind of fatal mishaps that is actually happening for a lot of teams. But if we talk about this particular team, I hope so. In this one, they are going to counter back and eventually get another Booyah. And if that doesn't happen, would like to see some new fresh faces coming up with that kind of intensity. Because right now, Team Mafias, despite of having the first Booyah and opening this day precisely in our hands, was absolutely amazing. But after that, the position and the performance coming from Team Mafias is not that adequate. This could be one of those matches where they can easily turn the tides and eventually showcase us that we are still residing, and as per the name suggests, we are the Mafias. But right now, let's talk about the overall standing at this moment. Team Insane Esports residing at top with 30 points amazingly. If I talk about Team Aura Gaming, 28 points from their corner, hashtag 2 position. Team Evolution with 27 of their own. Team Mafias with 26 points. Boss Official with 26 as well. Revenant with 21 points. Godlike with 18 points. And if we talk about Zero Degree, that's 13 points for them. Vitality with 12 points. Team Kimini Esports with 12 as well. Team Assassin's Army with 9 points. And Team OG Elite is, along with Assassin's Army, failing to touch the double digit.
Absolutely, and this is a very challenging situation, especially for the team which was at the tabletop yesterday with 108 points, have gained only 5 points in 2 matches. This has to be a crucial match. And also Team Evolution looking for a fight right now against Ankit, but there's no way possible. Team Evolution again losing their manpower. Roshan and Iconic using the Chrono Shield to heal himself. That is going to give him enough time, but still the work has not been done yet from Team Evolution. But today, the only team you can say consistency, maybe they have not gained their Booyahs, it's the Team Insane Esports surviving both the match very beautifully, and that's what Team Evolution also got to do, using the glue walls consistently. Skylar is being used, and the Skylar wave could cause a lot of trouble, and the Team Mafia does the job. Pain again finishes off the Team Evolution. Again, a bad match is what you can say. Not getting enough number of points is also going to be very challenging. But here we have the Kevin Esport and the territory of the sub, looking for a fight, but the fight is not done yet. Swasti going to watch out for this. Han try to give him the cover, but I think he has enough time to revive his fourth player.
Well, indeed, revival is something which is going to be quite crucial at this moment. Eventually, that is actually going to be there in time soon. He's meanwhile patching himself as well so that they can be ready for the next close call. As you all can see, a lot of shot back is coming up. Gaming Esports is definitely receiving quite a few blows. As you all can see, so our 6SV is not looking that great. If I talk about Anand, he's also receiving quite a few shots. He wants to just be a little bit on the safer side so that he can survive a bit more. But then again, look at those shots coming up. Anand is about to go down. Oh yeah, of course, the blue zone was something which was not going to help him a lot anytime soon.
Absolutely, but Assassin Army did a fair good job. They were already being spotted. Kevin Esports tried to back out, but there was no way back home. And Assassin Army with Trolex doing a wonderful job. Trolex getting 3 goals, but there was a place where he was Kevin Esports player was trying to revive his supportive player, but there was no way possible, especially when you were stuck in that blue wall. They also become sometimes problematic for you. You got to watch that out, how you utilize your utilities and the resources. And Assassin Army did a wonderful job wiping out the opponents in front of them. Now all they got to do is capture the zone, and gatekeeping could be a challenging situation right now. But 4-man squad, you always feel confident, especially when you have your support, when you have your players with you.
Well, definitely the approach is right enough at this moment. Let's see how the approach is actually going to cut short and eventually how the fights are actually going to get delivered. If we talk about Assassin's Army, well, that team is looking strong, but at this moment, 0 frags from the corner. We have got Comber, we have got Warrior, we have got X88, we have got Vidit 04 as well, trying to take up a fight. Let's see how the fights are going to get delivered at this moment. I would like to add on some shots, some retaliation fires are actually going to be there anytime soon. And look at those flashbangs being thrown in the front of that. A lot of fights are coming up. Team Vitality might not be able to survive anytime soon.
Vitality looking to get those fight, but Aura Gaming also in trouble. John Cena is knocked out. There's no hope of revival. Kaushik Malik has a lot of responsibility. I don't think he has the right set of utilities, but he does the job. And Revenant, I think, is completely wiped out by Kaushik Malik. He spotted the last player, did the job, but also he's in a very troublesome situation. Last man standing. Vending machine is not far. Maybe if he could reach that place, he could revive his remaining players if he has got enough number of tokens. But I think the fight that he had to take was he just was revived a minute ago, and he doesn't have a lot of weapons. But Charge Buster did the job for him, and Orangutan trying to make a beautiful comeback, holding the sniper tower. It's the Pahadi with the double sniper, double AWM, a lot of damage he can cause and a lot of trouble for the teams in front of him.
Well, indeed, the trouble is coming up, no doubt in that. The shots are coming up for sure at this moment. As you can see, the team OG Elites are trying to survive. Pahadi is in the game, Mr. J is in the game, Oldmonk is there. Vasu is also surviving, so I believe this could be one of those maps where OG Elites is actually going to get their first ever booyah for this day and eventually be back in the Sunshine region and showcase how they are actually on the top.
Definitely, that's what they're looking forward right now. But Orangutan, I think they are looking for a comeback if they can get. Vasu Siaje was knocked out but revived very soon. They want to maintain their man-to-man advantage. Command post is going to be the final spot for the zone. There are going to be a lot of clashes when the zone starts to present. A lot of fights is what you can expect. Yes, it's a match. See the deadly red Kalahari in action. The temperature is very heated up. Player is being revived. Pahadi, can he do that knock? I think he wants to grab that kill.
Man.
One shot is enough and he does the job. Yes, he see a lot of players surviving, but cover was provided instantly. The glue wall was on point, but Pahadi could not secure the kill. On the other side, you can see Team Mafia also making a comeback. So these big names are looking for a comeback, and third match is definitely going to be a very important for them.
It's going to be interesting to watch these two big giants going head to head at this moment, and eventually we are going to witness out of these two, is it going to be a possibility that out of these two, one team is actually going to get the booyah, or is it going to be another third team which is going to get that booyah particularly? So let's see what happens eventually, because we are going to cross the third way, let's say halfway of this whole particular streaming, whole particular Indian qualifiers day number 2 to be precise. On the other corner for Toko with Team Mafia, Mafia Bala has been taken down. That's the sad side to watch. Some shots are coming up, definitely trying his level best, but at this moment he's also getting connected quite a bit.
Definitely, these two titans colliding could be a one hell of a fight. Team Mafia also want to capitalize that. I think Delete can spot a player. He can get an easy kill. We saw Kaushik Malik some moment ago, but maybe he has left the place and gone somewhere else to survive. But I think the team is completely wiped out. Team Mafia versus Orangutan Elite. Like we said, it's going to be an interesting fight. 16 players surviving. Delete looking in good form right now. He has also got some good number of kills. And Team Mafia, let's see how they charge and how they make their way. And the zone is not far from them, so I think they can hold their spot. 14 players. Orangutan on the other side is colliding with the Assassin Army. If they wipe them out, be a very favorable situation for them. This is all about the manpower that you carry. Godlike also in the game, which holds the spot of Godlike, but Pahadi doing the damage with his
Oh
sniper,
man, look at
and
that.
trade fire has always been a trouble for Pahadi. I think revival is what he's looking for. Mr. J, and he may revive him, but it could be a dicey situation when the zone is constantly pressing in. Bossy Sergeant trying to give him the cover, trying to kill the secure, and grenade on his hand. Explosive weapons could do a lot of damage, and it was on point. Team Mafia would have been in a lot of trouble.
Indeed, indeed. That trouble is about to be there anytime soon. If we talk about OG Elite, they are still surviving. Gordon is also surviving. That's interesting to watch. Let's see which team is actually going to contemplate and eventually get those blows. That is actually really very interesting to watch out at this moment. If we talk about Team Mafias, well, they are trying their level best to delegate and get some good blues. On the other corner, if we talk about Team OG Elite, they are also trying to chase the blues and eventually get this one, get this Booyah to be precise into their favor. Is it going to be a possibility? We'll be seeing it very, very soon. Some blue walls have been appointed. So look at those shots coming up. OGs are actually on top and they are just trying the level best to delegate some good shots, and look at that beautifully secured one kill.
Yes, absolutely. And the much awaited Booyah is on its way, and Orangutan could do it. It shouldn't be a very tough task. And Pain, again, the last man standing, but maintaining their manpower, charging in, could turn the tables around. Wasi Charge also doing his job, using the Wukong beautifully, and with a monster kill, secures the Booyah for Orangutan, and a beautiful comeback coming from Orangutan Elite. Wasi Charge this time did the job. There was a situation where we were expecting maybe Mafia could turn the tables around, but Orangutan said a clear no to that. Orangutan, the much awaited Booyah, is on their hands right now. I think now every team that we have been expecting from a consistency, now if they can maintain their consistency, again, the table topper is not going to be far from them.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Table topping and eventually being on the hashtag one position in the leaderboard is something every team is watching for. Being in the top three is going to be a safe spot because if you actually are at the hashtag one position, you are not going to get any kind of prize pool. You are going to get qualified along with the hashtag two and three position as well. But then again, that motivation booster, that momentum booster is actually going to be there, and you will be able to, let's say, justify yourself that yes, of course, we were at hashtag one in the Indian qualifiers, and after that, we will be able to maintain that consistency and eventually learn that what we did wrong and what we did right to eventually be at hashtag one position. But right now, Team Mafia, well, they were not able to get that beautiful Booyah into their consideration, but still, again, guys, would like to add on hashtag second is the position that they have attained, and some good kills were also there in their favor. That means they are also consistent. That means they are also chasing the hashtag one position. That's interesting to watch out. But then again, OG Elite, after a beautiful Booyah, I believe their buffer is just going to increase quite a bit.
Yes, definitely. If no teams have reached that spot or closer to them, Team Mafia is just gonna get stronger after this Booyah, a much awaited Booyah for the day number two. But Team Mafia was also looking in a favorable spot. They had their zone, but Orangutan Elite, I think they were in the form. They wanted this Booyah. They were desperate enough for this, and they secured it very beautifully. Now we'll see if they can carry this forward. Consistency has always been a question, especially on the day two, where you expect a lot of surprise, a lot of comebacks. We have also seen a lot of comebacks, and also talking about from match number one and match number two, Orangutan Elite and Team Mafia have definitely got that comeback. But let's see how you carry this forward, how you secure this. Also, some teams, like you talk about tabletopper, we saw it, Team Insane Sport, they were not seen in a very good action in the Kalahari map. So a lot of surprises are, I think, awaiting us.
Oh, indeed. A lot of surprises are here right now. We'll be unpacking those surprises really very soon. We'll be seeing that how these next three matches are actually going to pan out. Next three Booyahs are going to get converted into whose favor and who are those one of those players who can easily turn the tides eventually. In this one, we saw that how beautifully players from Team OG Elite were performing. And if we talk about Team Mafia, I guess somewhere around that downridge perspective, the way they were inside that house actually just let's say obstacle them quite a bit. If we talk about OG Elite, they were actually on the rooftop. They were actually having the panoramic view of that particular perspective, and that is why they were able to dominate. And it was a beautiful shot, no doubt in that. But moving up ahead, Bermuda, Puggy, and Kalahari. These are the three maps which are going to showcase us who is going to be still the uncharted territory winner in this particular day number two of the Indian qualifiers.
Absolutely, that is much awaited. And like we have seen, every new team coming up for their Booyah. First, it was the Team Mafias, then the Boss Official, and now the Orangutan Elite. This defines the competition. This tells how the pressure is going to be on the team. It's not easy to get a back to back Booyah or a consecutive Booyah. Now, teams must be looking forward. We have Bermuda for K3 and Kalahari once again, the same sequence like we saw in the first, second, and third matches. So it's going to be a repetition. Let's see how teams who are desperate for a comeback, like godlike esport, it's their first day today. It's a first day for all the group C teams. They want to gain at least decent number of points, so that they at day three you don't have a lot of pressure develops and your team somewhere chokes. And talking about choking, we have seen Team Evolution collapsing a lot of number of times. They are seen aggressive in the aggressive phase most of the time. If you talk about any other tournament, that's the form they play in. They play on gear 5. They try to control the lobby, but today that's not what they're seen doing.
Well, indeed, right now I guess they are playing very safe. They are actually justifying the lobby as well. They want to actually maintain the distance from the enemy as well, so that they won't be able to go down really very soon. And that's interesting, guys. Every other team wants to survive at this moment, but eventually only one is going to get the booyah. Only one team is actually going to be the Uncharted territory winner. So for that, I guess every single team is just trying their level best to not go for that classic approach, not go for that let's say normal tournament type of approach, because their stakes are not that high. But eventually in this one, the stakes are way too high. It's basically like one of those tournaments where you actually have to represent your nation, and that's what is actually happening. You have to be qualifying for the Indian qualifier, and eventually you have to let's say represent Indian Peninsula. That is actually going to be quite important to watch out. Pakistani qualifiers are already on the way. Indonesian is already running up. Nepali qualifiers are also running up at this moment. So eventually, we will be seeing it really very soon, which are the top three teams coming from every single country that which we are inviting in this whole Asia Cup presented by Lidoma India. We'll be seeing very very soon that which are those top three teams and how they are going to contend. But before that, we are actually having the backlash. So that is why the teams are just trying their level best to survive a bit more, be more conservative, and secure their own kind of strategies, and eventually showcase the right strategy, their 110% eventually when the right time comes. Because right now the main ordeal is to just qualify, and qualifying is not going to be an easy task. But then again, definitely I guess these teams are more than capable to just showcase the right strategy at the right time period.
Absolutely. I think they are focusing on the top three order, and the teams already in that order want to claim the top one spots to make a statement of their dominance, to make a statement of their legacy, that how they can control the lobby. But here we have the Team Mafia. The fourth match is on your screen. It's the classic Bermuda. Team Mafia again will want to control the game the same way possible, like they have done in the previous two matches. One match, the Purgatory, was definitely a little troublesome for them. They did not get enough number of points, but consistency can still be maintained. Momentum can still be contain like they did in the previous match. They are focusing on the loot, and I think now since the game has already gained that momentum, I will not be expecting the passive approach like we saw in the first match. And if the teams are lagging, especially from the bottom order, they need to get those enough number of points. And Godlike in trouble again. Godlike was the team we saw taking a clash in the Bermuda. Now they are seen doing that again. Godlike Nivesh has been completely knocked out, eliminated, but three-man squad. Can he do it? Abed trying to charge in for the player, but not enough for that. CM coming in, trying to provide the cover, but again, Godlike in trouble. Two-man surviving. They were trying to capitalize the zone, but situation has not been easy for them.
Yeah, indeed, it's not going to be an easy one just because the kind of chaos that is coming up. Yes, of course, three amazing kills are there, but away with that loss, eventually the tokens should be collected really very soon, and eventually the revival should be done and dusted. 41 players are surviving at this moment, so we can see the clashes are about to come in. The fights will be delivered really very soon. On the other side, if I talk about Team AG, that is actually going to be our gaming. We have got John Cena on the banks, on the let's say edges, and he is trying his level best to loot it up and eventually get the right kind of ability so that he can showcase his own power and eventually the strategies that they want to actually put forth. This is Assassin Army, if I'm not wrong. We've got
Yes.
Kambar, we've got Warrior, we have got Trolix, and with it as well, trying to fight it up. They are actually a little bit scattered, but then again, I guess at the right time period, the support should come in.
Absolutely. I think Kumber is looking for a fight. Assassin Army is trying to go to the clock tower where usually we see Orangutan Elite. If they want to spot the team which secure the Booyah, again, the ritual of teams in the top order or teams we were surviving till the last in the last match could be eliminated. That could be the scene we see that happening again. But Hanger is the spot what they have chosen, and Vitality on the Mars Electric, losing one of their valuable player, War 3000. I think it will not take very long for them to revive because they have seen to be getting good number of kills. Mehul also with one kill. Once they get enough number of tokens, War 3000 is gonna be there to support them again. Because yeah, if you just look at it, it's not very far to reach that particular zone. If you talk about the safe zone, and you can see the live location of the team, every team in this spot. So clashes have been done and dusted right now, and now you gotta work on a loot and secure the zone and wait for the next fight.
Yeah, indeed. Zone is something which you have to actually pay the respects to. On the other corner, if
Yes.
we talk about the live location, we have actually, let's say, quite a few teams in a separate locations. Nobody is actually close to each other, and eventually these clashes won't be here anytime soon. But the safe zone is shrinking. We are actually going to witness these 43 players going head to head really very soon, and I will be seeing that how the connections will be delivered. So let's hope that these fights are going to be quite an amazing one. Vitality is still holding their strong ridges. Let's talk about the current status. As you all can see, Team Mafia and the And quite a few teams are actually having the four-man power. But then again, if I talk about Team OG Elite, in the last one, a beautiful Boya comes in. But in this one, they're again losing Jewati.
Yes, losing Jay Whitey, but I think they have got good number of kills and they are going to hang it. They could have taken a fight and encounter against Assassin Army. And let's see which team is going to be in trouble. 44 players still survive. We saw a few moments ago, Aura Gaming was the last man standing from AG John Cena was the last man standing from Aura Gaming. He went to Rimnam to get those enough number of tokens and survive his team or revive his own team. And we can see another fight happening on the kill feed. 0 degree up against the Godlike Esport. Godlike has constantly seen a lot of challenges and a lot of problems right now. So today, Godlike maybe not have its day. It was a fresh start for Group C, but tomorrow they would want to capitalize all the matches they have lost and also on the coming matches. That's going to be Purgate and Kalari.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. They want to capitalize. They will have to capitalize. Otherwise, the fate is not going to be that amazing. On the other corner, if I talk about this particular team, got like Ginotra is trying his level best to attain some good points. On the other verge, the damage. Look at the damage he has been inflicting on his own. And this at this particular starts, if I talk about teams like let's say a Boss Official or Assassin's Army, they are also losing a lot of breath. Ginotra is already getting damaged quite a bit by the play zone as well. Shots are coming up, but then again, definitely not enough to put Ginotra down for the moment. But we'll be seeing very, very soon that how the next close calls are going to get delivered.
Absolutely. I think Godlike again trying to survive each and every fight, but these two lads have done a beautiful job. They have got 4 kills for each player, 8 kills on a total. And yes, Godlike will try to control this fight, and especially the 50% of the game. If maybe they could not outperform the other teams in the first half, they can do in the second phase of the game. And that's what they're trying to do right now. And also the same thing goes for Vitality, which are looking pretty strong right now with enough number of tokens. But let's have a look at the map. The zone is gonna favor the peak next, maybe because we're gonna see that happening very soon. Team Evolution, we have also seen them somewhere around then doing their loot, finishing their resources, and let's see if they can make the tables turn around, especially from this half of the game.
Yeah, we'll be seeing it. We'll be approaching that kind of perspective really very soon there. And if we talk about the areas like let's say Peak and Kolkata, let's see how the fights will be delivered on that region as well. Because at this moment, if we talk about the teams, well, they are holding their own kind of let's say compounds, but the team which has been eliminated is going to be Godlike Esports, which is not a great side to watch. Godlike from the past 3 matches, including this one, if I talk about the past 4 matches, let's call it out. Godlike is unable to perform the way the team wanted to perform. But right now, I believe the comeback should be delivered in the next upcoming 2 matches. Otherwise, the fate is not going to be that amazing. You have to be in the top 3 to just see the next chapter of this Asia Cup.
Absolutely. You want to be top three from every circuit that is. And today we'll start with the Bangladesh qualifiers on the evening. So every circuit is focusing, every team wants to make it for the nations and play for the pride, not just for the glory of their team. And here we have the 0 degree. 0 degree have fairly performed well today, especially if we just compare their performance from yesterday. They are seen right now, Bibasakti. And again, I was not expecting this, Raider, that teams will go for such a passive approach right now. But yes, they are again in the Bermuda and Boss Official are the team. I think they have completely wiped out Godlike Esport, which were somewhere constantly trying to gain that momentum which they have lost in the first 3 of the game. And Boss Official have got their booyah, so they have done their part. But still, 3 matches on their way. They would want to get more number of points and want to leave, especially teams like Team Insane Sport, who has shown a great consistency in the previous 3 matches.
Indeed, the consistency is coming up from a few teams, but then again, the teams which are failing to do so have to actually break up some seriousness and eventually get those jobs done and dusted. Boss Official, this is one of those specific team which actually got a beautiful booyah into their consideration, and just after that booyah, they were taken down in the next match quite swiftly, and it was quite an ugly fight for this particular team. But right now, I believe they will be able to prove themselves just like OJ did in the previous one. They will be able to bounce back. I believe in them, and I believe all the fans are also going to believe in them. Beasto on the other corner is trying his level best to maneuver his way out and trying his level best to just go past observatory and figure out that way the locations can be optimum enough for him, where he can loot it up and eventually gather some good utilities and go back in the Sunshine region. If we talk about the overall standing for this day, Team Mafia still remains on top with 41 points. AG, or should I say Aura Gaming, with 38 points is remaining at second position. Team Insane Esports with 36 points is remaining at third position. If we talk about Team OG, 30 points for them, as well as if we talk about Godlike and Team Evolution as well. They also have the 30 points as per the stats. If we talk about Team Revenant and Boss Official, well, they both have actually got 28 points. And if we talk about Team 0 Degree, 25 points for them. Corner, Assassin's Army, 23 points. Vitality, 20 points. Cayman Esports, 13 points. Well, that's good to see that every single team has crossed the, let's say, double digit marker. But right now, don't you think so that Team Mafia is about to cross the half century?
Team Mafia must definitely be looking for that, and they have maintained the top order. And I'm also happy for Orangutan Elite because 2 matches ago you were just seeing them at 5 points and at the bottom of the table, but one match could definitely turn the table around, securing the top four spot. Also, Team Evolution must be looking for that kind of performance because they are known for that domination, they are known for that game control, but till now it's not been seen. 37 players still making the game, and current status you can see Godlike and Vitality are the only two team being eliminated, and that's the phase, that's the play, that's a gameplay that you have seen in Bermuda today, that teams go with a passive approach. They want to avoid the fight, but if they want to conquer the territory, they will have the collateral damage like we saw with Godlike Esport. And let's see, we are constantly eyeing on Team Evolution. Let's see which fight they pick up next. It could be Team Mafia because Team Mafia usually rotates from that zone. You have seen them coming from mill, using the zip line a lot of times, using the ground a lot of times. Let's see if they can pick those fights. But Kemin Esport in trouble because they are at the bottom of the table. They still have 3 matches on their way, maintaining their manpower. They could still convert these 50% of the game, last 3 matches, to a very good three converters.
That can be the possibility coming up. Vitality, Godlike. These are the two giants which have been slayed. Right now, all the other teams are there with the four-man power, which is absolutely amazing to watch out. 40 players are surviving. One kill for this particular team. But right now, moving up ahead, if we talk about the OGs, they are also connecting some shots. And meanwhile, if we talk about Pahani, he's also receiving quite a few shots. If we talk about Old Monk, he was able to patch himself. But at that exact moment, Pahani went down. That's interesting. Pahani has been taken down. Is it going to be the end of that guy, or is it going to be the revival situation coming up? I believe the revival is already coming up for Pahadi, but no, he has been finished off. On the other corner, Fasio also gets connected. He has been knocked out. Is it going to be a possibility of that revival like situation, or Team OG Elite will be getting surrounded from multiple corner? But that axe was massive. That was absolutely amazing. But finally, if I'm not wrong, Team OG Elite is getting succumbed to their death very soon.
Oh, that was a situation looking there. Yes, it is being done. Orangutan Elite, I think, is completely wiped out and no way possible. But Kevin Esport Anand is still surviving. The last man squad could be in trouble. The solo survive, but he's going to mill. And if Team Mafias are still located at that place and they have not left the territory, Anand could be spotted and easily wiped out. And Kevin Esport again in a bad state of affair. But Orangutan Elite was big. They had a big blow. They were stunned. They were not expecting that kind of fight. They were looking confident, I think, the day they started the race. But again, once you go with the pace, you understand the competition. Team are providing you big challenges, big problems for you, and Orangutan has not been able to survive that gracefully. Once again, it's the ritual which continues that the team securing the booyahs in the previous match are eliminated on the early half of the game. But Team Mafia, look at their consistency. They know even the situations are not in their favor, how to control them and how to capitalize them.
That is actually going to be something very vital to just let's say remember and work on. On the other corner, came in esports, well, getting connected quite a bit. Some more shots have been delivered, as you can see, constantly trying their level best to tag out Team Mafias after having that upper edge yesterday. Also, this was the same kind of scenario where Team Mafia had the upper edge into their consideration, and due to which they were able to attain some good points. But right now, if we talk about this particular strategy, look at those blows coming up. The damn good diamonds are coming up. But eventually, the team which is actually on the back end is still surviving. They are receiving the damages definitely, but then again, those glue walls are supporting them. Finally, this is the moment where they're going to get knocked out, and there we go. The elimination is also possible.
Yes, so that's what they were looking for. A Team Mafia causing a lot of damage, holding the bridge very beautifully. And this gives an opportunity for Anand, who we saw a minutes ago somewhere around the mobile tower. But Delete is has he spotted the player? I think maybe he wants to take up that fight. And also taking the flank right now could be a favorable situation for Team Mafia. 29 players still surviving. Another zone shift we'll see very soon in a few seconds, but Delete has come down to finish off the fight, the players that he spotted. And yes, he's causing a lot of damage to them. He's not ready to let them enter. And a beautiful headshot coming up and knocking down the players will secure the team in Team Esport in trouble right now against the Team Mafias. And the gatekeeping has done a fairly good job for Team Mafias.
Yeah, indeed. Look at those two amazing double kills coming
Oh,
up. Well,
wow.
there we go. Triple kills. Scratch that. We have got the triple kills coming from Delit's corner. Team Mafia is rising, and they are rising very rapidly. If they are not going to get stopped, I believe Team Mafias can be one of those teams which is going to get their second booyah for the day. But eventually, if we talk about teams like Insane Esports, definitely was trying their level best to attain some good points. But finally, I guess the play zone was something which was not in their favor. Along with that, we have got another fight coming up. As you can see, a lot of shots are coming up. That guy won't be able to survive, I think so. On the other corner, look at that. Beautifully cherished him. Beautifully took him apart.
Absolutely, and Anand was the last man standing. So Kevin Eastwood also being wiped out, but Delete got to watch out for the landmine. He was almost knocked out there with surviving with the 5 HP, but the fight is still not done. They got to be prepared for the next encounter, for the next fight. But this has been a lucky situation. Team Mafia focuses on the zone
Wow.
control, how they capture the zone, and yes, he's still looking for more fight. trying to cause the damage consistently. He spot the player, but Mafia Baller got to be careful. He's knocked out. Delete coming up for the cover and will revive, but this situation looking very favorable for Team Mafia. Zone is not very far away. They know they can reach the spot. Right now, they are maintaining the higher grounds, trying to cause a big blow for the team in front of them. But look at Delete grabbing those 3 kills. Once this player gets in form, he can cause a lot of damage and definitely get the booyah for his team.
But right now, what they did to Team Insane Esports is getting reciprocated
Yes.
on them as well. So yeah, you can see that Delete is back in the game, but then again, the number of damages which is actually getting circumstances absolutely amazing. Pain, along with Snake, has been taken down. That's a sad side to watch. Eventually, the revival should be there, and there we go. He is actually trying his level best to resist teammate, and eventually Pain is back in the game. And we saw how Pain can be one of those players which can easily turn the tides quite a bit. Look at those shots coming up, and that could be a beautiful knockout coming up. But he has to remember that there is a player on the back end who is also focusing on him, and that was very critical. A throwable should be delivered. Let's see if that throwable is actually going to put him down or not. Well, of course, the throwable went out, but then again, the damage was not enough, not adequate to be precise. Oh, a
Oh,
damn good knockout coming from the corner, but Pain, can you actually survive? That is the biggest question. It is actually going to be quite critical. Four amazing eliminations. Finally,
oh.
Team Mafia is also out of equation, and just like that, we are going to witness the top two teams surviving, and it is actually top three teams to be precise, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, somewhere we can see top three teams somewhere, and I think Team Evolution is gonna play a big role. They have boss official to deal with, and also from Revenant Esport it's gonna be Raja surviving, who wiped out or completely secure the kill for Team Mafias and finish them off the game. Now it's the 5 players surviving. Let's see who secures the booyah. Boss official is the last man standing. Senior, who has no option here because he's surviving at the top of the banner. Now it's gonna be Team Evolution chasing down the final 2 players in front of them. Killer and Iconic. This duo can do the job. Let's see, Killer, can he spot the player because he's in mood right now. He wants to get the comeback for the team. He wants to grab those necessary points. He has got 7 kills. Just look at the number of kills he has got because he's back in form and he doesn't wait for long. But Iconic grabs the kills of Revenant Esports. Raja, now let's see if they can spot the final player from the boss official. What do you think? Will he be spotted, Raider?
I think so. He can be spotted anytime soon. Eventually, if they watch it, like let's say vigilantly enough, I guess he can be spotted. But look at that, how beautifully he's just residing on that location. But right now, moving up ahead, just three members surviving. The last man standing is way up high.
And that's what I think Team Evolution is want to see. But can they spot the final player? Iconic trying
Oh,
to use
here
the
we
damage.
go.
Now he finally does, but he still uses the Chrono Shield very beautifully. Not enough time left. Senior chooses to get eliminated rather than giving the kill. And yes, it's the Team Evolution securing their first booyah for the day. Definitely a great comeback. What we were expecting, what the fans would be expecting from the Team Evolution.
Four matches, four new teams, four new faces coming up with the booyahs, and that's absolutely massive. Team Evolution, just like let's say the name suggests, they have evolved, they have actually performed, they have outperformed their own kind of performance, and eventually with this amazing blow, Iconic and Killer, that deadly duo manages to get a booyah. They manages to let's say bag that booyah into the perspective, and that was absolutely amazing. Moving up ahead, now if we talk about the other guys, like let's say Team Mafias as well, or Team Boss Official, or Team Revenant as well, constantly trying their level best to actually attain the top five position in every single match, and that's interesting because if you are consistent enough, you will be able to maintain your legacy and eventually maintain your let's say lead, or should I say the calm positions in the leaderboard, because eventually at the end of the day, leaderboard is something which is going to decide whether you are going to get qualified or not. One single match, yes, you of course performed quite well. Like if I talk about Team Evolution Esports, they have done quite a beautiful job. They have secured the booyah, but right now if they are not going to be consistent, I don't think so. It's going to help them a lot in terms of the qualifications for the next one.
Absolutely. But today, talking about consistency, that has been a huge challenge for them. Let's see how they try to control that, how they try to maintain the consistency. Let's see what they have in package for it. But Boss Official again making a good comeback. They have secured the second booyah, and now somewhere top two order is not bad for you. And Orangutan Elite also trying. Team Mafia is constantly trying. Boss Official trying to create the mark. But the team in trouble today right now is going to be the Godlike Esports. They've seen a lot of clash today. Let's talk about Bermuda. They've already always especially seen the clash today. If you talk about the recent match, they were having the favor of the high tier loot, the zone, the blue zone, but still they were not able to control that, especially when the boss official did a third party on them.
Well, I guess when you have the right kind of utility, you have to actually use it also accurately. Because if I talk about, let's say, Team Mafia's corner, delete and Pain with those amazing throwables were able to create a huge impact on them. Insane Esports, which was actually trying their level best to be in the zone, also got dedicated by that particular fight. So obviously, you have to be vigilant enough that you know that where from which location will have to rotate, and eventually how that rotation is going to let's say altogether impact on your performance, impact on the leaderboard, impact on your, let's say, survival. Insane Esports did a wrong move and eventually they paid it after that. And if I could talk about Team Mafia as well, they also did the same kind of the thing. They were able to put one team out of the equation, out of the misery from that bridge, and after that, what happens? That same bridge was used to put them down as well. So eventually, you have to be ready. You have to be vigilant enough. Some good kind of utilities has to be used up at the right time period so that you can survive eventually, and eventually, let's say, showcase your talent in the match.
Absolutely, and that's what most of the players are trying to do here. Especially, we saw some great knock coming from Team Pain. But before that, let's move on to Loco. Yes, guys, it's time for us to move on to Loco. The final two match action you can find there. Our moderator are trying to spam the link on the live chat, so you can just click there and reach the stream. The final two match action it's going to be Purgatory and Kalahari. Let's see what day awaits us. It's going to be the map of three islands, and I'll be expecting again the same match action and the pace that we have seen, especially Kalahari and Purgatory, is definitely way too high. Some teams are lagging what they wanted to prove today. They would have definitely set their targets that this is what they want to achieve in terms of points, let's say kill points or placement point. But that has been a huge challenge and huge problem for them till now.
Yeah, definitely. That is actually coming up as a challenge. But right now, we are waiting for the next match to start. Purgatory, and after that, Kalahari is actually going to be there. And very soon, we'll get to know that in this second day of the Indian qualifier, who is the one team which is actually still at top. I believe that could be OG Elite because they've got some good booyahs into their consideration. If we talk about day number one and day number two as well, some booyahs are there. Two more matches are left right now. We'll be seeing how OG is going to perform. But apart from that, team Mafias is also another team which is actually performing equally well. Even though they are not getting the booyahs, they are still remaining at the top five. In the third match, if I'm not wrong, in the Kalahari region, they were able to attain second position. And in this one, in the Bermuda map, they were able to attain hashtag 4 or 5, if I'm not wrong, in terms of the overall standing. So that's interesting. That is actually going to create a lot of impact in the leaderboard as well, because at the end of the day, leaderboard will be the report card of the performance of the averaging out performance coming from these giants. So I'll be looking forward to see that how these next two matches are actually going to play out.
Absolutely, and we'll see how these match turn out for them because Team Mafia today has done fairly well for themselves. I'll be expecting them on if we just talk about the day two leaderboard or the current standing, they must be at the top. They have gained some good number of points, some great booyahs today, and Payne has done a great job. This is the most valuable player from Team Mafia. But let's move on to the fifth match of the day. It's going to be Purgatory, and yes, we have Team Mafia going to the crossroad, but Delete can be spotted somewhere downhill, and he wanna capture the territory and take that place for himself. Plain path, I don't think it would have surprised a lot, but crossroads, it's going to be very favorable for the mafias because it has got the blue zone, the high tier loot, and a good news for Mafia Bala to gain those snipers.
Indeed, that is actually going to be quite important to see that how those snipers are actually going to play their charm in the leaderboard. And then again, in this particular match, teams are actually more than vigilant. Teams are actually trying their level best to survive a bit more because we saw how these fights can be very critical. So let's hope that the connections will be delivered. And the last two matches, as we were talking about it, guys, are going to be streamed on Loco. Make sure to tune in. And eventually, if you don't know where the Loco is, our Loco page is, just go ahead and search Lidoma India, and you are going to witness the stream. On the other corner, if I talk about team. Mafia. Delete is there. Mafia Bala is there. Pain is also surviving. Let's see how their fights are actually going to get delivered.
Absolutely, but Team Mafia, like we said, they have done a wonderful job today, especially without the frontman lineup. We have seen three players, yes, playing them, but Snake, this guy has done a beautiful job adding to the team's energy, adding to the cover or provide the respective support for the team. Because if even one player is different or as a substitute, like you question the team synergy, but that has not been the case with Team Mafia. And here we have the Godlike Esport, a big surprise coming from Godlike Esport. They have changed their drop location. I think seeing the current scenarios, and that's how you got to perform. That's how you got to evolve for the scenarios if it's not in your favor. Abhay Ginotra, the CM, and Godlike Nivesh. Today, Tahir has not seen that could have been a big question for the team that the frontman lineup, even one player, like I said, there's a substitute, it always becomes a huge challenge for you. But the first zone has appeared. Let's see how they move in. It's not going to be a troublesome situation for God. Like 47 players still surviving. Again, are you expecting Raider a bit of passive approach?
I think so. The passive approach is going to be there for sure because this is actually going to be the last two matches for the day, and eventually in these last two matches, as much as points you can actually gain is going to be favorable for these teams. So yeah, I think so that for the first few zones, the passive approach is going to be there. Eventually, some drop clashes will be there, but eventually, I guess those drop clashes should be avoided. But yeah, my call out is going to be there. Yes, of course, the passive approach is going to be there in the last two matches.
Absolutely, but let's see. Assassin Army yesterday did a very good job. Cumber Warrior Trollex, and with the Trollex is definitely trying to get those kills for the team. But if you just talk about the current performance of Assassin, especially in the day
Hmm.
one and day two, they are trying to maintain that composure, maintain their consistent performance. But today has been a little troublesome for them, especially if you talk about the day two. Cumber Warrior, Trolex with it needs to work on those strategies wherever they are lacking and understand today's gameplay, how opponents are challenging them, how they can capitalize the fight. But we can see a fight happening with Kevin Esport and Boss Official somewhere. I think they'll be on the top order if we just talk about day two and Kemin Esport. Definitely, we have seen them at the bottom of the table. Kemin Esport, you don't expect them to downperform this kind of performance, but has been a very critical situation for them today.
Indeed, came in esports, their performance is not looking up to the mark. But then again, I believe slowly but slowly that team will be able to rise in the shadows, and eventually they will be able to gain some good points. And that is something I'm actually looking up to. So yeah, let's see what happens eventually. If we talk about Assassin's Army, this team is also failing to do so as well they were doing in the previous day, to be precise. So let's hope that in this day, Assassin's Army is actually going to come back with some good blows of their own. One amazing kill is already there in their hands. But then again, is it enough for them to rise in the leaderboard? No, not at all. You have to get some good booyahs, you have to get some good finishes as well, so that you can maintain the charming position of top three.
Absolutely, but the targets are not being well met also by the Vitality Esport and Vitality Esport again. With the huge change, I've seen a lot of team changing their regular drop location so that they avoid the initial drop clashes. And Zero Degree and the Moth House, Zero Degree wants to make a comeback, especially from yesterday. They want to get those necessary points, especially completing the utilities here at the Moth House. They will move in right for their next fight. But if you capitalize the Moth House, you have seen them rotations are very favorable for you. And look at that Kemin Esports Swastik last time surviving. I think he doesn't have enough of medikits to survive, and it's gonna be the boss official in front of them and gonna wipe out. It's gonna be Sambarat who finishes off the fight and wipes out Kemin Esport here. Kemin Esport definitely had a very bad day today, and fifth match also gone from their hands. It's only one match that's gonna be Kalahari in front of them.
Well, that's sad, man. The way this team is performing is absolutely brutal, and they are unable to get any kind of points. They are failing the fans to actually just cherish them. But at this moment, I believe they are going to learn something from it. We often say that either you win from it or you learn from it, and that is going to be the call it for gaming esports as well as the fans as well, because you are going to learn something new. That why you are failing out, why you are actually unable to compete with that intensity which you are known for. And gaming esports is not a small name; it is actually legacy
Yes.
left behind. But right now, let's talk about the fights coming up. As you all can see, the shots are getting connected. The teams known as Assassin Army is actually getting connected quite a bit. One good member, I believe Vidit is already out of equation, but let's talk about Kambar, Warrior, and X. He's also trying to perform equally well.
Absolutely. Warrior is looking for the last player if he can spot and finish that off and reduces the competition in front of them. And as the talking terms of man to man advantage, they were already lost with it a very valuable player. But Warrior got to be careful. He is dealing a lot of damage out now without the West. On the other side, Kumbar is also being knocked out. The two man surviving. Trolix, if he's also here, Assassin Army could still control the fight. And yes, he was there, but being spotted and knocked out. Warrior is the last man standing. Yes, he puts the blue wall at the right place and can revive one of his player in the meantime and also use the damage, but that is not going to be enough. Warrior constantly dealing the damage. Very unhealthy right now. Will he revive the player? That is going to be a big question because he has only one player surviving. Flash freeze also going to cause a lot of damage. Warrior also spotted. Now looking very unfavorable situation. Campsite where you can see the concept fight. Warrior surviving, struggling to survive here. Will he be able to survive? Because I think he's in need of a medikit right now, and I don't think he's going to find that anytime soon.
Indeed, indeed. Those medkits are actually going to be quite important for this particular guy so that he can heal himself and patch himself and be back in the fight. Vitality on the other corner is also getting connected by the play zone as well. Some shots, some throwables have been used up. Let's see how those throwables are going to create an impact. Yes, of course, the throwables were there, but that blue wall was able to deflect it. Oh, again, the throwable comes in, and that was way too close to himself.
And that's what they are looking for. Vitality here, looking for a fight. Oh my god, that is very unexpected. Avneet constantly trying to use those grenades to his advantage, but he was not expecting that the glue wall is gonna cause so much trouble from Concept trying to rush in, but being knocked out. That was a hasty decision, and yes, still Avneet has enough number of troubles. He want to use that to his advantage, but goes for the shot and takes the player down. Is it going to be? Yes, Legend is being knocked out here. Avneet is still surviving somewhere outside the zone and needs two more players to revive because Mehul and Concept are completely being knocked out. Avneet and War 3000 have all the responsibilities on their shoulders to revive their other two players.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. The responsibility is actually getting doubled up at this moment. If we talk about OGs, Pahadi is there, Mr. J is there, Oldmark is there. After the loss of Vasio, this team is actually looking a little bit shabby on their corners. But then again, I believe this team will be able to contemplate and get some good blows. Let's hope that the connections will be delivered soon enough. This moment, if we talk about the let's say amount of players which are still surviving, is going to be 25. But the airship approaching, along with that, the safe zone will shrink in just 0 seconds. And as you all can see, the safe zone is about to shrink in. So the teams have to be considering the safe zone as well. But look at those parachutes are getting opened up. A lot of people are getting raised up, and they are actually coming back and forth in the regions. Let's see how the shots are actually going to get delivered. And is it going to be Team OG who is going to punish the enemies or not? Let's see.
Orangutan must be looking for a next fight, right? Or let's see where they encounter that, because they are going to capture that place near campsite. And yes, they have spotted a player. They don't want to let go of him. Pahadi's still in the vehicle, but the player with him has come down, want to finish off the fight with his beautiful sniper. Pahadi can be seen with a sniper. This could be a troublesome situation for any team that is being encountered, but UAV radar is going to help them spot a player around them. And let's see, I think it's Vasio Siaje 7 who's the seen without the name. I thought it was some opponent in front of them, but no, it's the Orangutan Elite trying to reunite with the players, trying to get ready for their next product. But also that the same scenario can be seen from the team Mafias. They're holding the towers beautifully. They know their consistency. They know how to survive, and it's eventually all about survival.
Yeah, it's all about the survival gameplay. It's all about the style that we can actually point with. If I talk about precisely Team Mafia, Delete is there in that watchtower. He's trying his level best to figure out that way the enemy might actually come from. He's actually on the banks. So yes, of course, I believe the enemy will be lurking in the shadow somewhere around. Some throwables, some flashes are actually going to be thrown. But then again, this team particularly is empty-handed. Team Mafia is surviving, but they're empty-handed. Team Evolution is on top. That's interesting to watch out. They're 58 points. Team Mafia is actually going to get pushed down to the second position. Aura Gaming with 48 points to the third one. Boss Official with 43 points to the fourth one. Zero Degree with 40 points. Revenant with 40 points as well. If we talk about Team Insane Esports, 38 points from their corner. OG and the Godlike is actually having 35 points as well. If we talk about Assassin's Army, 28 points from their corner. Cayman Esports 22. Vitality is getting pushed down at the last stage.
Absolutely, but today we have seen a lot of changes on the table, especially when there's a lot of not a lot of buffer, not a lot of gap between the teams. And look at that, Team Evolution one Booyah was the game changer, and they are back on top with 58 points. But look at those kill points, 31 kill points and placement points. Also, have done a fairly good job for them. But Team Mafia not very far for them. They just need 3 points to cover up. And I think this match is what they are looking for. They're holding zone very beautifully, but water body is also being captured. Let's see if zone favors that final water body. That could be a very dicey situation for a lot of teams.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. It's going to be dicey. It's going to be critical for these teams to eventually survive because water body zone, if it comes in, you are going to be way too open at it. And eventually, I guess the teams are going to get the backlash. If you are able to deflect with it, you are going to get a beautiful, deserving booyah. But if you are unable to do so, you are easily going to get, let's say, in the way of some shots coming from the enemy's corner. Right now, if I talk about Team Evolution Esports, they are barely making up to the first position because Team Mafia is also still catching it up. So I think Evolution has to get this one into their consideration, or even if they are unable to get that Booyah into their consideration, they might actually just survive more than Team Mafia so that they can maintain the lead.
Yes, especially when they're so away from the zone, they gotta head to the zone very quickly. But they have got enough number of kill points if we just talk about it, because Team Mafia has played with patience. They are trying to avoid any sort of fight, so maybe they have not got enough number of kills. While on the other side, like we said, Team Evolution likes to play with the aggression, wants to grab those enough number of kills in the beginning, and they are doing the job. Killer trying to rush in, trying to make his way into the final zone, and iconic. I think he has revived his player Shino because he understands the use or the value of his four-man squad. And on the other side, you can see Team Insane Esport not very far from the zone, but also if you have to capture the zone, you gotta do it quick. Otherwise, you're gonna be the victim of gatekeeping here.
Yeah, indeed, that can be actually one of those unfortunate situations coming up. Quadricle is coming up, as you all can see. A lot of shots, a lot of takedowns are coming up, no doubt in that. A beautiful kind of, let's say, carnage is also getting set forth. If we talk about Shivam, he's trying his level best to actually just patch himself. But on the other corner, Aura Gaming is out of equation. That's a sad side to watch. AG is still failing to please the fans at this moment. If we talk about Team Mafia, definitely their shots are not getting calculated. Team Insane Esports is also trying their level best to just be in the zone. Four amazing kills from the corner, but still unable to just approach the play zone.
Absolutely, but Team Evolution is showing their best side right now, is playing their natural gameplay with the aggression, and Godlike Esport also being eliminated again. There's no game which they can say have favored them. And look at Team Mafia surviving with only two players, Mafia Bala and Pain, and they want to do the job for the Mafias, gaining the necessary placement points. But Orangutan Elite are looking in a good situation. Pahadi has grabbed somewhere around two kills with his beautiful sniper, and EW and ME2B. That is the combination that he always looks for and cause the damage to the teams in front of them. But man-to-man advantage has always been the bonus for the team. 19 players still surviving. Orangutan Elite, it's gonna be, which is gonna have the zone in their hands, and Team Evolution, if they encounter this, is going to be a very interesting fight, because on the kill feed you can constantly see Team Evolution causing damage, and the player spotted with a beautiful headshot knocks out Mafia Bala, but the glue wall was on point by the Pain and will be able to revive that player. And Vitality still taking up a beautiful fight against, I think it's going to be Team Evolution. Yes, it is indeed, and Killer knocks out with his insane movement, with his insane reflex here. Concept is going to be the last one standing, not so far from here. If he's spotted by Team Evolution, Vitality is going to be eliminated here.
Yeah, indeed. Vitality is actually on the verge of getting decimated because Concept, he's the last one standing, he is actually way too vigilant for that particular fight. If we talk about Team Evolution, look at the number of finishes that they've actually gained. Six amazing kills they have attained right now, patching it themselves and eventually gaining some good loots from the craze that they're actually making up on the way. But now they have to actually cross over to the bridge and eventually just go to the play zone. That is actually going to be quite critical. You can already see some shots have been exchanged. A lot of damage is actually done and dusted. But right now, let's see how Team Evolution Esports is going to evolve through it, and eventually will they be able to gain those amazing points? Well, there we go. The shots comes in, and just like that, the seventh kill for Team Evolution Esports is also here.
Yes, once again, Killer does it beautifully. Look at those kills. I just had a look at the kills number, the number of kills that Iconic has grabbed. He has got 5 kills. We have already seen 7 kills on the Killer's end. So they are doing their part. They are grabbing those great number of kills and are ready to maintain that distance with the teams right behind them. That was the Team Mafia, and Orangutan want to spoil the game. But let's see where the zone shift, because Water Body is still favoring the zone, and this could be very interesting situation. It's either on the other side of the zone or on this side. Let's see what it favors. If it favors the Orangutan, they would not let any team enter the zone, and that's going to be Team Evolution in front of them, maybe.
Yeah, definitely, it's going to be quite chaotic to watch out. Now, at this moment, if we talk about OG, this could be one of those matches where they're going to be back and forth once again, coming up with a beautiful showdown from the corner. Let's see what happens. Pahadi is there. The other guys are also surviving, like let's say Mr. J. Old Monk is also surviving. We have got Wasio also trying to survive and eventually getting some good blows from his own corner. Let's see what eventually happens. How they're going to pull through with this particular match is also something we have to, let's say, witness for the moment. Right now, OG with the 4-man power. Team Insane Esports with the 2-man power is also still surviving on the other corner. These guys are still surviving. Some shots are actually going to get exchanged really very soon. Look at that beautiful shot coming from old back corner, and just like that, the triple kill comes in from his favor. 3 amazing kills, and that too all together by, if I'm not wrong, Old Monk.
Absolutely, and Old Monk is doing a fairly good job maintaining the synergy with the team, and that was a beautiful knock. Vasius Siaje trying to scout around and spot the final players, but Team Evolution's one-man squad was surviving. Like, look at that knock coming out from Vishal. Yes, he'll be able to confirm that kill, but not going to be easy to convert the booyah from here, because Orangutan Elite is holding the spot and they know how to capitalize the fight. But yes, they did it, losing Vasius Siaje. He was not completely eliminated, but Orangutan for a second booyah here, they are going to jump back to the top order once again.
I mean, why wouldn't they? Because yesterday also as well, I guess the same kind of situation went out where Team Booyah got two back-to-back Booyahs. Team Orangutan to be precise. Well, I guess I'm mistaken. And right now, if I talk about the kind of performance, OG was absolutely OG, no doubt in that. The level of aggression from the corner was absolutely massive. Yeah, if I'm not wrong, the number of finishes are not that great, but then again, they have got the Booyah. That is something to be actually blessed about.
Absolutely. OGs definitely are the OGs of this game. Their gameplay was OP, the only team to secure 2 booyahs today. And yesterday's tabletop justifies how controlled are of their gameplay. They know what they are doing and they have definitely done their homework right. Maybe that was not seen in the beginning phase, but now they are back in action and controlling the game like we expected. But Team Evolution somewhere, I think the big question for them in this match, especially with the zone not favoring them, it was on the other side of the water body, and that was not easy to capture. So Shinu, who was just survived, he was surviving on the factory top of Lumber Mill. That's what he has to do, and he did a fairly good job. But Old Monk grabbing that kill did the final task. But the kills part, if you talk about, it's the only one team that's roaring. It's the only one team that's shouting, and that's none other than the Team Evolution. Iconic got some great number of kills. Killer doing his part, 7 kills. So they are, I think, still at the table top. But it will be a big question if Team Mafias are pushed down, because OGs have got
Hmm.
their booyah.
It will be interesting to watch out at how the leaderboard is actually going to inflict these kind of booyahs coming from OG's corner, because OG back and forth is actually getting some good booyahs, and right now they are being consistent as well. Team Mafia is failing to do so. Two good matches were there from Team Mafia's corner, but finally it is not actually looking that great. If we talk about Team Evolution Esports, the way they are performing is actually equally well. They were a little bit close to booyah, but then again, crossing that water body was not easy, and Purgatory is all about that. The water bodies, Yelens, and eventually those crossovers are something which is going to be quite amazing. But right now, I believe we all are waiting for the next one, and that is going to be Kalahari, a red desert type of map, a map full of ridges, full of high points and low points, full of a map full of, let's say, small compounds and eventually very very large spaces where rotational classes are going to be way too on point, and the third parties could be delivered.
Absolutely, and long range shot are going to play a very crucial role here, very crucial role here. Let's see how they control that. But I want to see if Orangutan still want to go to the refinery. We have already seen a lot of clashes between Kemin Esport and Orangutan Elite on the refinery. But considering their current form, Orangutan can avoid that. It's going to be a very good situation if they avoid the fight in the starting, do their loot, and if they survive till the last, they know how to convert that to the Booyah, because that's the example that they have just given in the previous match. And talking about Kemin Esport right now, the team in trouble. Vitality Esport are not able to, perform them up to their expectation. The fans' expectation would be so high of them, but today they have definitely failed on that. But not the less, because you are in Group C, you still have tomorrow to go. You can make up for it, But a pressure, if you just talk about it, it's going to be a lot tomorrow for you.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. The pressure is going to be immense because, as far as I'm concerned, the matches are going to pass out. It's like, let's say, in a snap, the matches are going to pass out, and you are going to be left either with the qualifications or the disqualifications. So these are the two things. It's like a do or die situation for now, and the teams have to perform equally well. No doubt on that. Some teams are holding their kind of position and eventually not showing the exact gameplay that they actually showcase in the random tournaments and stuff. Right now, they are just waiting for the right time period to strike on, like Mafias are doing, like let's say OGs are doing right now. And if we talk about Team Evolution Esports as well, the way they are performing is also amazing. They are not getting as many booyahs as compared to OG, but then again, they are consistent in every single match, and that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely, they are doing their part on the kills department, and I've seen that their natural game is back on the aggression side, they are able to control the lobby right now, and now they have one more match to go. They want to finish off as the table toppers. They know how to control that. But let's see, Kalahari, how many surprises awaits us, because the Deadly Red Desert definitely has a lot of surprise and comebacks waiting for us. And let's see, godlike Vitality Chemisport today, the struggle has been real for this team. They want to control, but still there have been no options or no stone left unturned. The surprises
Hmm.
have already stunned them. They want to do their job, but there were not many options left. But on the other side, I want to see if Team Mafia goes on the aggressive side. We have already seen how patiently they were playing. That did the job. They were getting enough number of points. But now I think it's high time they can go a little aggressive. They can go a little on the gear 5 side, and Delete can get those enough number of kills, because Pain is in form. We have seen Delete getting those good number of kills. And if they go on that aggressive side, or all guns blazing, maybe they can get back on the tabletop.
Yeah, indeed, that could be a strategy where they can actually climb back on the leaderboard. But yes, of course, a lot of speculation there are there, and eventually a lot of, let's say, variables are going to be there playing their own kind of, let's say, game. So we'll be seeing very very soon that how the last match will be carried away and how the leaderboard is actually going to get impacted, because after the 6 matches, the leaderboard is something we'll be watching out for.
Absolutely, that's all that matter. That's all that counts. If you are at the top order, you qualify, you play for your nation in this grand event of Asia Cup. Yeah, we are on the day 2 of Indian qualifiers. Make sure you like and subscribe the channel if you haven't till now. And let's move on to the final match for the day. That's going to be Kalahari, the Deadly Red Stone Ridge. Yes, that's going to be the high tier loot with the blue zone. I think Vitality would not question themselves going there. They would want to establish and conquer their territory. But again, the sights are on Team Mafias at the Santa Catrina refinery. I want to see. I think it's going to be the hotspot, but maybe Kemin Esport want to avoid a fight, or Orangutan Elite chooses to avoid the fight, and Kemin Esport can easily do their loot at the refinery.
I mean, the way Kimin Esports have been performing in the last 5 matches is not that adequate. This could be one of those matches where they can end at a happy note. Uh, but let's see what happens eventually. Swastik is there. The other guys are also surviving. The backlash is also going to be there. The clashes are going to be there for sure. The drop clashes are something which is going to be for sure very, very critical. So let's see what happens eventually. How Kimin Esports will be able to delegate or not is going to be another huge thing that we want to actually check out. But right now, on the other corner, if we talk about Team Mafia, Delete, Mafia Bala, Pain, and Snake, the four giants of this particular team once again are ready and jacked up to perform.
Absolutely, they are ready to perform, and we have 47 players still in the lobby. And Team Insane Esport facing a clash up against them, losing their valuable player Shivam, who I think is the IGL right now, is leading their team. And Gian, Vishal, Arnes got all the responsibilities on their shoulders. Let's see if they can take control of the shrines. They can capture their territory. Zian again patiently waiting. He doesn't have his favorite weapon sniper because if he did, he can go all out there and definitely provide the right cover for the team. And meanwhile, Shivam is very well revived at the place and fight is still not finished up. Yes, the RNS does the job, and it's the Aura Gaming in front of them knocks out John Cena. Let's see if Aura Gaming wants to back out or still continue the fight because this can be one hell of a fight here.
Right. The showdown is actually going to be quite an amazing one. Look at those shots coming up here and there. The fights are actually coming up. The bullets are actually getting flown. And Zian, if we talk about this guy, he's also trying his level best to attach and eventually pull through a lot of, let's say, aggressiveness at this moment. Zero frags from his corner, but still he is hunting for the giants. He's hunting for those right time period. Look at that, how beautifully he's just taking the TPP. He's waiting for the right time period. He's becoming the bait. He's waiting for the right moment where he can just strike on.
Absolutely, he has the patience. He knows how to tackle the situation right now because all the other players, all the other support that he can expect is literally far away from here. He has the zone, so he can wait and avoid the fight. But the players are not ready to let this go. They know that this could be a some one of the player around from Team Insane Sport, and that is definitely going to be Aura Gaming, like we saw. And look at Vishal, how far he's from Zian. There's no way back home. There's no way possible that he can reach there in time and provide the cover. So maybe he is just suggesting Zian to avoid that fight, but you cannot avoid the fight. Zian takes up this battle, and yes, he does a lot of damage, but there's no way possible in front of the shotgun. You have Bison that was not able to connect a headshot, and if that's not possible, you cannot knock down the player. Now it's the two-man surviving from Team Insane Esport, which especially was looking very great in the beginning. They were also seen at the tabletop, but now the final match, the things have turned a lot for them.
Indeed, the final match, the last one, and eventually the shots are coming up, the fights are coming up, and situations are actually turning quite sideways. If we talk about Zian, he has not been risen. It's RNS who is back in the game. Let's see how the fights will be delivered. But finally, I guess Zian is also going to be back in the scenario. That's interesting. But Shivam on the other corner gets connected. Shivam has been taken down. He's not going to survive anymore. And just like that, Shivam is also out of equation. Mafia on the other corner is also getting connected. Mafia Bala, to be precise, is getting a lot of backlash, to be precise.
Yes, and there was no way possible to revive him. Delete was trying his all.
Right.
He used all the glue wall that he had, and look at those beautiful shots. He knocked out two players on their way, and he will not stop there. He was used the inhaler, but that was a hasty call from him. Maybe if Delete had waited there a little bit and taken a step back, tried to heal himself, could be a situation. But I think he got a little greedy, seeing two players knocked out there. Now Team Mafia again in trouble, surviving with only two-player Pain and Snake, and I don't think they have enough number of tokens. But definitely you can see a revival point around them, which they can utilize to revive their player. But that's going to be a huge hell of a risk there.
The risk is going to be there, but eventually, how they're going to cover that particular risk and eventually uh, go with it is going to be something we are going to witness very, very soon. Revenant on the other corner started it off quite well. The day from Revenant's corner was absolutely amazing, but finally, slowly but slowly, Revenant is actually getting diminished. Raja with that VSS was unable to do a lot of damage, but then again, he was the guy who finally managed to put Mafia out of its misery. In this one, in the map of Kalahari, let's see how the fights are actually going to get delivered. Booyah is something now Team Revenant is also focusing on.
Absolutely, Revenant want to secure this booyah and at least have a good start for day one, which is for them, and maybe it's the day two. But Group C are playing their first day, and their first six matches, five matches are already over for all the teams. And Revenant Esport had one decent man, but after that, they were somewhere seen missing in action. They were not able to capitalize certain fights and were not seen till the last. And here we have the Godlike Esport, which was in the same state of affair and godlike away with single sniper trying to work on those glue walls. Players are positions are taking those positions respectively and wait for their next fight. Maybe this is the match like Revenant and Vitality, including Kevin Esport and Godlike. These teams are looking for their booyah, and it could be the match where they may not have started on a good note today, but they can end definitely on a great note.
And if the end is good enough, I guess everything should be compromised in the next few days, next few fights to be precise. But right now, if I talk about Team Mafia, after losing Delete and Mafia Bala, this situation is looking a bit shaky. On the other corner, Vitality is one good member, that is Avneet, is actually popping some heads off. Team Evolution, Insane Esports, if I'm not wrong, and along with Aura Gaming are also popping some heads. They are actually going head to head. That's interesting to watch out that how the whole situation will be carried away. How many aggressions are actually going to get carried away is going to be something very amazing to watch out. But Shinu, the last one signing of his team, way too, let's say, nervous at this moment, way too risky type of fights are going to come in, and there we go. The shots are coming up. I don't think so. He's going to survive anytime soon. But then again, he passes himself. He's back and forth, running here and there, trying to survive a bit more. But is it going to be a possibility? That is something which is going to be quite critical. That is damn near, let's say, shaky for us.
Yes, and almost done because Shinu is will not be able to survive where players are chasing him down and there's a lot of manpower coming in, but headshots are being connected and yes, he's completely being wiped out with the team evolution and team Infinity for taking advantage of the fight. But third party is still awaits us. Shivam was knocked out, but Chrono Shield used beautifully by RNS. They have the compound, and when you have the compound, you always have enough time to heal. And also, the treatment gun is gonna help him heal real soon. But Zian, Shivam, RNS, three-man squad surviving at the Bayfront zone, not far from there, but they have to take a lot of fights on their way and could be a target of gatekeeping, especially from the higher grounds. You gotta watch out. You gotta stay alert of the players where they are waiting, especially that can be seen in Kalahari.
Well, the shots are coming up for sure. That is something we are going to be vigilant about. But right now, 35 players are surviving, and two good kills are already there for Team Insane Esports. That's interesting to watch out. But right now, Shivam and Warren is a 5-0. Just like that, he has been taken out with a beautiful shot, and just like that, the whole team has been taken out. That's hard to watch out. Insane Esports getting diminished at this early stage. Well, that's what was not expected to be precise. But on the other corner, if we talk about teams like, let's say, Zero Degree, we've got Balakot, we have got Ansh, we have got Priyansh, we have got Ala. Let's see how their performance will be calibrated. For the moment, you can already see that the clashes might come in soon enough.
Actually, but talking about the last match, the way we saw the first match, there was a lot of patience and passive approach we could see from the but now the game has gained so much of momentum. That's what you expect till the last match, sixth match for the day, and we have seen a lot of fights, especially coming out from Kalahari on only 27 players surviving, but there will be a lot of revivals like we can see from Zero Degree. Bayfront is going to be the hotspot. You have UAV radar, but no players around, so Zero Degree can easily control the situation and have the required utilities for the player. But also, Boss Official on the other side trying to control the sniper tower from Mammoth area. Legend is one control this fight, but all the other two players that he has, Beasto and Senior, are very much distant, and that is the split strategy is not going to favor you very much. And I think they got to reach very soon. Otherwise, Boss Official split strategy could cause them a lot of danger.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. If the split is there, if the flank is there, that can be very, very critical. Samrat himself has been taken down. Legend, Beast Q, Beasto, and eventually Senior 29 is still surviving. Let's see how the revival will be possible or not. We'll be looking forward to it. But at this moment, if we talk about Legend, he's not a legend anymore because he has been taken down. Beasto and Senior 21, these are the only two members which are still surviving. Two amazing kills from their corner, but that is definitely not enough. If I talk about Beasto, he's in the vehicle. He's actually, I think, moving up to that recall, let's say, a position, that vending machine position, so that he can actually be back in the game. Senior on the other corner manages to distract. Well, the shots are coming up. Well, a beautiful knockout from his corner. Now he's going to patch himself. That is something pretty much sure. Oh, dude, you should have patched yourself. That's sad to watch.
Yes, it was, but it was Orangutan Elite coming on the way and doing the damage for the boss official. But look at the current standing, 82 points by the team evolution, and with
Mhm.
47 kills, they have done their part on that department. And that is the natural gameplay. That is the gameplay that we usually expect from the team evolution. They are at the top for a reason. Team Mafia right behind them, but they have a long way to go. They cannot cover up 22 points. It's not going to be an easy call, and let's see if they can still make up to it. But Orangutan Elite, I think 59 points is still not bad. You are at the top three of today's standing, and especially Sunday, you did a wonderful job. The only team to cross 100 mark was a great task, was a great target for yourself. But Vasi Siaji, he knows his way out. He knows how to get his team back up, especially Pahadi and Jayawati, who are very valuable players, but only if he has enough number of tokens. Because the vending machine is not going to be far away. And Vasi Siaji, the way he's moving, I think he's trying to do that. And Aura Gaming also, John Cena, the last man standing from Aura Gaming, is also trying to do the same thing. A lot of revivals coming out of the final zone we can see here, where Team Mafia always knows how to capture the zone. But can they capture the Booyah? That's going to be a big question.
Oh, indeed. That question will be answered soon enough. Let's see what actually happens. 28 players are still surviving, and the airship is as well approaching. But right now, the zone is getting shrunk down. Look at the number of players just getting increased. Vitality, Godlike, along with Revenant and Aura Gaming are the 3-4 teams which are still having the 4-man power. If we talk about Zero Degree, they are getting diminished a little bit Assassin Army once again is failing to perform as we were expecting to, and K-Mini Esports is being consistent in being the poor performer for the day. But right now, if I talk about teams like Evolution Esports, that is the team which was on top in the leaderboard as well. But right now, they are failing to achieve any kind of points in this particular match because they are already out of equation, and the Booyah is out of the hands of Team Evolution Esports, Team Insane Esports, Team K-Mini Esports, Boss Official, and a few teams like that.
Yes, absolutely. That's the situation, but that's not the case with Revenant Esport, who are looking very beautiful right now. They have got the right spot, and with the sniper expert here, Raja wanna do the damage. He has single sniper and woodpecker. I like that combination because you usually see people with ACT, but if you can't find that gun, you can do nothing about it. And here he's spotting all the players, spotting the chrono shield. Maybe he knows that there's gonna be some player right behind them. And not so long ago, we saw 27 player, but after the revival, after a brief period of time, there's still 27 players surviving. But the teams maintaining their man-to-man advantage always gonna be a huge bonus to them. But shots are being connected by pre-hit, yes, but you gotta watch out for the trade fire. That's also gonna cause a lot of damage for you. But considering the vest and helmet that you have, it's not gonna be a tough fight for you. You have also brought your drops. Revenant Esport Viper, he's the IGL, he's the man you look out for. And today has been tough for him, but definitely Revenant knows how to capitalize, how to come back, and I think they will do that. Maybe not in this match, but tomorrow that's gonna be coming from them.
Definitely, bouncing back scenario is going to be there from the corner, and I'll be looking forward to see that. I am looking forward to see that how those situations will be carried away. For the moment, Vitality, Godlike, Revenant, or a Gaming. Look at the amazing teams which are actually having the full manpower. But currently, if we talk about the shots, Revenant is just constantly wreaking havoc on that particular team. But on the other corner, if we talk about Godlike Esports, well, they are not going to have the full manpower very soon because the whole team is out of equation. And with that, we can bid our farewell to Godlike Esports in the second day of the Indian qualifiers.
Yes, they absolutely got like has had a tough day, and look at Avneet cherishing and celebrating that victory or fight against the godlike esport. They are not going to appreciate it, but nonetheless, he has done his job. He has got six kill for the team, and he was almost endangered to survive, but he's going out of the zone. I think going to the vending machine to revive one of his players, and meanwhile. Mehul also being knocked out. So does he have enough number of tokens? That's going to take a lot of tokens to revive two of the players. And Avneet has gone for the task, while on the other side, Concept is surviving with his double sniper, trying to scout and spot the players and secure this particular zone. But zone is still very far from them. They gotta control that. They gotta make their way into that, and that's gonna be tough for Switch. But spotted a player, gonna be
Oh
an
man,
easy call, almost there, but Concept should have connected for the headshot, but I think that was
yeah,
not easily visible. He was trying that. Skylar is being used, and Concept trying to connect those shot and want to knock that player out, but also full team spotted and finally connects to the Raja OP. Revenant Esport must be in danger with a single sniper that is in front of them. That the Concept
man.
constantly big blows. This player is one hell of a sniper, and now he got to watch out for entering the zone. But 2v4 fight, it's not going to be easy because Revenant knows how to control these easy fights.
Yeah,
Oh
indeed, indeed.
wow!
Look at the shots coming from this guy's corner. Concept is actually on another level. He's the sniper who you have to be actually watching out for because the shots coming from his corner is absolutely going to connect to you and eventually. Oh, look at that. Another shot is actually coming up. This could be another knockout coming up. Let's see what happens eventually. The shots
Oh,
came in, but finally, Vitality was way too busy. Concept was way too busy on punishing the enemy that he got punished.
absolutely. You gotta stay alert all the time, especially the fight that you're taken a minutes ago. They're gonna counter attack and they're gonna retaliate. That's gonna be Revenant Esport, but they have lost their captain, not their guidance. Three-man squad trying to charge. And can they capitalize this final fight? We have already seen once when Zone was not in favor, they lost to be, but I don't think they want to repeat that mistake. 12 men surviving, it's gonna be nine players ahead of them. And Ursh, this player you gotta watch out. In short range, he can do a lot of damage. He has his favorite set of weapons, and only thing they gotta do is control the zone, and he's charging in beautifully. He has the shotgun in his hand, and I think it will be easy for him to take out the knock using
Wow.
very beautifully the chrono shield. Finish off the player, wipes out the whole team. Now 11 players surviving. Assassin Army also wipe out. It's the final phase of the fight, and I think Revenant want to capitalize that.
Indeed, Revenant is actually trying their level best to attain this fight into the perspective, but I would like to see what Zero Degree is holding up to because this could be amazing if Zero Degree gets his booyah into their perspective, and it will be very, very amazing to watch out. But the shots are coming up as you all can see. These three guys are just trying to wreak havoc on the solo man standing, I believe. Let's see who is that guy, particularly on the other corner from the back end. Some more shots are getting registered.
Absolutely, you want to register and secure those kills. And we have also found a vehicle, but that's not going to be of any use. It's a very small zone. Nine players still surviving. Us trying to spot all the players in front of them, but Zero Degree clashing up against the Orangutan, and I think they should be able to wipe out, maintaining their four-man advantage. It's the final found between the Revenant Esport and Zero Degree, but Tala does the damage with his EWM. I'm sorry, I think I saw that M7 launcher. Yes, it was, but Blackbot is also being knocked out and Charge Buster being beautiful used. Quadra kill goes for the team and secures the booyah. Zero T degree very late, but definitely got a booyah for the day. They were looking for this and another beautiful team for the booyah.
Well, the performance, the aggression, the amazing showdown was absolutely massive. A beautiful Puya coming from 0 degrees corner, and that's what we were expecting. That a new face, a new fresh face coming up and getting that Puya, and that's what we actually got. Booyah coming from 0 degrees corner is actually going to impact the leaderboard as well. Along with that, their motivation is going to get pumped up. The teammates are actually going to be overfilled with the joy, and eventually, right now, I believe with that kind of consistency, 0 degree might be able to just shine themselves a little bit more in the leaderboard. Although, if I'm not wrong, the overall standing will be here anytime soon, and eventually we'll be seeing that how these teams impacted in terms of the overall standing. But definitely, it was not an easy task for every single team to just survive. Be it Team Mafia or OG Elites. Yes, of course, OG Elites got two good booyahs into the consideration. Mafia got one, and apart from that, the other teams which have actually a team booyahs like Evolution was there, 0 degree was there. Definitely, it was not an easy task. But then again, maintaining that consistency is something which I guess. It was about to happen from Team Evolution's corner, but the last match it went out from their hands.
Yes, somewhere down the line, it was a tough task, especially with Purgati when it doesn't favor the zone. And that has been happening with a lot of teams today, especially if we talk about Revenant Esport. We saw them losing two times the Booyah, especially when the zone didn't favor them. And this is what it happens. If you can't carry forward your man to man advantage till the last zone, always going to be a big trouble. 0 degree did that. They knew if they carry forward four man advantage, they had amazing loot. They had the Charge Buster, they had the
Yeah.
M79 launcher, and Tala knew what to do, how to do it, and he did it wonderfully, wiping out the Revenant Esport and claiming their first booyah for the day. Maybe they were not able to make that impression, make that impressive performance, but definitely would have impressed their fans with the final booyah. So you never give up, and this is what you got. But let's see how the teams have impacted the current leaderboard today. And I think I'll be expecting Team Evolution still at the top. They had gained enough number of points. Right behind them, it was the Team Mafias with a huge margin, with a huge gap of 22 points, and they were not enough in a state to make a comeback to cover up those points. So maybe Team Evolution was eliminated at the early part of the game. If you just talk about the last match, but I will be expecting them at the tabletop.
Let's see what happens eventually in the leaderboard. What goes on in the leaderboard is absolutely amazing because we have to see, we have to watch out with who are the top three teams and eventually will they be able to maintain their consistent performance and showcase their kind of talent in the upcoming stages, in the upcoming, let's say, days of the qualifiers. We'll be expecting quite a few showdown coming up, but right now, I believe the whole day was absolutely amazing. Six beautiful matches were there, back and forth. We had two Bermudas, we had two Purgatory, we had two Kalharis as well. It was absolutely amazing the way this whole situation went out. But right now, moving up ahead, would like to add on leaderboard is something which is going to give us the clear picture, which will show that how these teams performed. And in few matches we saw Evolution Esports dominating. In few matches we saw Team Mafias dominating. In few matches even Kimin Esports had some good numbers. But then again, overall, if I talk about the performance coming from Kimin's corner, it was not that adequate to be actually loving about.
Absolutely. Kevin did struggle a lot. And also the other teams, if you could just count on it, it was Vitality Esport. Somewhere we saw they were ready to make an impression. They were looking confident in the beginning, but after that, once they started having the collapse, the struggle was very real. Vitality Esport, Kevin Esport, and also the Godlike Esport. Because Godlike Esport, if you just consider their form, they know how to dominate. They know how to
Yeah.
control the scenarios, even though if they are unfavorable, but definitely if they are back-to-back scenarios like that, back-to-back challenges like that, it doesn't become an easy task for you to capitalize. But nonetheless, you still have day three for you to take that control and make a good comeback. Six matches for you are over. Especially if we talk about the Group C teams, six matches were the first today, and tomorrow also you'll have them see, you'll watch them perform for their six matches, and Godlike will have those opportunities once again. They can start fresh, do their homework after seeing the result today and what they need to work on. Definitely, they would have already realized that by now. But let's see. Tahir makes a comeback yesterday. That could be a big question. But other teams, some teams which dominate, like Team Mafias, Team Evolution, with their aggressive performance, especially Killer, that was one hell of a performance. He was grabbing 7 kills in two matches we saw, and maybe he could have captured the Booyah also in the Purgatory if zone favored them. But yes, it was the Orangutan, the only team to secure two Booyahs today. And yesterday also they did that task. So it was somewhere the confidence which was shining in them.
Yeah, of course, the confidence coming from the OG's corner was absolutely amazing. But slowly but steady, OG started it off quite well yesterday. But after that, in the last four matches, OG was unable to get a lot of points from their perspective, to be precise, and not even a single booyah was there from their corner in the last four matches. Yes, of course, first two matches were there in their consideration, but right now, today's day, well, they equaled it out. They actually balanced the situation very well. In out of 12 matches that they played, they have actually secured four matches in their perspective with some good, amazing finishes as well. And in the eight matches that they have not attained Booyah, they were consistent, and that is something which is going to impact a lot in the leaderboard.
Yeah, absolutely, that's gonna cause a huge changes. But we also have Group B matches coming up tomorrow, where World of Battle was seen with their impressive performance on day one. I think they will be seen with the same performance day three. They have got a good rest day, and they would have also seen the current standing or current performance of the team and how the situations are changing. Especially Orangutan Elite. Yesterday they were easily able to control the lobby, but today it was a completely different scenario. It was a completely different game plan that you had to go with, and also a lot of competition. Competition is definitely going up the bar. It's picking up the pace, and that's what you'll expect in the match action of D3.
Indeed, indeed. That is something we have to be vigilant about. We'll be seeing how the situations will be turning out. And eventually, today, I guess we also have the Bangladesh circuit coming up. And in that, we are going to witness some more teams, witness some more contributions coming from these teams. And eventually, the eliminations coming from their corner is also going to be quite an amazing one. But yeah, would like to add on that one of those teams is going to be amazing. But today, the team which actually motivated me a lot to just, let's say, evolve a bit and eventually showcase the strategy is going to be Team OG itself, because the way they performed was absolutely amazing. The way they were coming back and forth was absolutely amazing. Yesterday's day, yes, of course, it started well, but then after that, I guess at the end, we were like, yeah, the performance is not coming up. But then again, in day number two, once again, they started off a little bit on a shaky end, but finally, it was ending in a great note.
Absolutely, and Orangutan Elite had only 5 points in the first two matches. After that, that's where all the comeback lies, and they worked very well on that. And that's your somewhere the ability to make up for it while you are in the game, and how well you improvise. And they did that very well in the last four matches, gaining those two booyahs and somewhere gaining good number of points and also securing the top six spot. But let's see how current standing tells us and what position they hold us. But also 0 degree somewhere 0 degree and Boss Official was seen to be missing in action in the beginning phase, but Boss Official also got one of the booyahs. They were also seen at the top two other, and I saw one of the players surviving against the Team Evolution when it was iconic and killer, trying
Hmm.
to find that player in the top of the mobile tower, but he chose to get eliminated once spotted and not give away the kill. That was a very smart move. That's what team players and esports players chose to do rather than giving away 1 point, because that can make a huge difference in the coming future.
Indeed, eventually a single point can actually turn the tides, and that is something which is very vigilant coming from the corner. Yes, of course, if you are not able to secure yourself, you are easily going to give the points to the play zone, or let's say the fall damage was there, and eventually get eliminated by yourself rather than giving the point to the enemy. If that actually happens, the enemy will be having one more point, and eventually it might cause you the qualification in the upcoming stages.
Absolutely, and you cannot afford that, especially on this such narrow window. You have only top three teams representing their nations, and if Indian qualifiers, we have three groups. You have got to compete against the top best 18 teams of the nations to get that spot. And some teams are fairly doing a good job, but some teams really need to get in the race back in action, and that's going to be very crucial for Group B and Group C tomorrow when it's going to be the final match action. And Group B, if we just talk about the Group A, some of the teams are already they would have realized that this is the game over. This is it for them because they don't have any more opportunities than. But you never know what surprises by Group C on tomorrow's match action. So make sure you guys tune in now. We are very well waiting for the leaderboard, the current standing of the sixth match action. Yes, it was Bermuda Pagiti Kalari in the same sequence we saw on fourth, fifth, and sixth. Started with a great booyah by the team Mafia, and then it was the Boss Official. But then for a comeback, it was Orangutan Elite. Yes, Team Evolution did not wait too long. Also, they also got an amazing booyah. And yes, again, it was Orangutan Elite, but the final booyah was by the 0 degree. So some new teams coming up, and the competition. This is what it decides when you are not easily. It's not very easy for you to secure back-to-back booyahs or two booyahs in a day. It tells the competition, and it tells how much the pace of the game is.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. If one team is consistent, I guess one team is getting back and forth all of the booyahs. That is actually showing that the competition is one-sided. But again, if I talk about the teams which are getting booyahs and getting eliminated, that then instead in the next one, I believe the competition is looking a bit more sharper. Because if we talk about teams like Boss Official or Team Mafias as well, initially they got one booyah and into their consideration. After that, what happened in the next match? immediately they were taken on quite swiftly, and that was something which was very, very amazing to watch out, because we were seeing some new shifts, we were seeing some new faces coming up back and forth, we were seeing some new kind of, let's say, aggression coming up in the leaderboard. Yes, we knew that Mafia started it off quite well, and then the boss official carried the burden of getting that beautiful booyah. But after that, what happened? New teams are coming up, new teams are taking them apart and eventually getting the booyahs.
Absolutely, and I think that was the most interesting part of the game. And even the phase, if you just talk about it, that became a ritual. The teams in the previous match who were seen in the last surviving or got their booyah on the next match in the early part of the game, in the early stage, they were eliminated. So that would have been a big shaker for them. You always want to stay consistent and continue the momentum. But if those challenges coming up, you're not able to do that. You're always being challenges for the consistency, but that has been a big question for the teams today. But some teams try to do that, especially the consistency was seen from Team Mafia. And if you just talk about the surviving skill, Team Insane Esport was doing a fairly good job in the initial phases. They were also seen at the tabletop, but in the last few matches, they lost a good number of points, a good number of placement points. So maybe that could be a very critical situation for them, and that can be seen in the current standing also. But a team which I was fairly expecting will perform very well today, Aura Gaming, because they had a good start. They were also seen surviving and making at least in the top three, surviving last stages of the fights. They were also in the same situation as Team Insane Sport, because yesterday was a bad day for you. Today is what you got to make comeback for, and if you hadn't, I think it's game over for you.
Indeed, indeed. If you are actually unable to perform the way the lobby demands, it is definitely going to be the game over for you. And eventually, I guess teams are catching up to it. Teams are evolving. Zero degree yesterday they were unable to perform. Today they are actually getting some good blows. Although I can't say it's the same thing for Kemini Esports or Vitality, because they are one of those teams which are at the bottom of the leaderboard. I believe they were unable to secure any, let's say, kind of good points into their concession. Every single match they were trying to gain some, let's say, 4 to 5 points or 10 point at max. That's what they are actually attaining in a single match, which is not a great sight to watch. Tomorrow, we might see some more booyahs coming from these teams, and if that actually happens, it will be one memorable match to watch out.
Absolutely, because some memorable matches to watch out, and some great moments and a great comeback is what you can expect out of this teams. Let's see what will happen today. But before that, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe the channel, and also like if you are enjoying the stream. We still are waiting for the results, and I think our fans also are desperately waiting. What are the results? Who's at the top order? We can somewhere also expect that. I think it's the Team Evolution will hold the first spot. It could be Team Mafias right behind them, because they were working on that placement very well. I was still expecting that maybe on the last 2 or 3 matches, if we talk about Purgatory and Kalahari, they could have shifted their gear. They could have gone for a little aggressive side, gone for the fights, but they were still avoiding that till the last moment and unable to carry forward the man-to-man advantage. It's always a troublesome situation, and that's what we have seen in day one. That's what we have seen in day two. If you're not surviving with at least 3-man squad, Booyah is not going to be anywhere around you.
Indeed, getting the booyah is not going to be an easy task if you actually are unable to gain those amazing points from their consideration. Eventually, you have to evolve. You have to check out that how the enemy is performing, get a great location to drop in. Eventually, check out that which is the map which is going to be the strongest for you, and eventually gain some good points in that particular area. And that, my friend, can actually help a lot.
Absolutely, that's going to be a great way to capitalize the fight, way to control the fight, and that's the mentality of the few of the teams who have struggled today. And we have discussed that enough number of time. But let's see, Kemin Esport, what they'll be working on, and they must definitely be introspecting at this stage that these are the few big mistakes that they have done. But you cannot question this team a lot. Recently, they had taken a break. They want to make a comeback, even in the Indian circuit, but Asia Cup. And making this way back, it has been a lot of pressure to them. But let's see, they still have opportunity left on the day three, and that same thing goes to Group B and Group C. You will find them clashing up against each other for the 6 matches, the same sequence, the same maps. Once again, it's almost over for Group A because they have already played their 12 matches. But Groups B and Group C will be seen colliding tomorrow for 6 match action. Let's see which team makes their way back, which team upsets the top order and pushes the team down. But that again opens the table for a lot of teams, especially the middle order. They see that opportunity as the golden opportunity and wanna control that. But that action, you will have to subscribe and make sure you don't miss the match action tomorrow.
For sure, you have to subscribe to watch out that what is about to happen tomorrow. But as Maxwell said, that Group A is about to go down. Group A is had actually had their 12 matches. Right now, we are going to witness the next group in which I guess Team World of Battle is going to be there, and quite a few favorite teams are actually going to be there. But if I talk about teams like Mafias or teams like OG Elite, these are the few teams which are already playing their 12 matches, which have played their 12 matches and eventually showcase their strength. And now it's all about the mercy from the other group which is remaining, and if they are able to perform well than that, I guess the qualification is something which is going to be quite amazing to watch. Or that which are the teams who are going to get qualified.
Definitely, it's all about the qualification right now because this is the phase where you got to make your way in the top three. We talk about any other circuit, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Pakistan. That's what all the teams are working there for. They want to hold the spot, and some teams which are already secure about it, that somewhere they can make it to the top three. They are targeting the top one spot to make a statement to prove it to the other teams that we are ready for the Asia Cup, we are ready for the match action. But are you? That's going to be the big question.
Indeed, a big question. We'll be getting that answer very very soon. We'll be seeing that how these champions are going to force themselves into the fire, into the performance to be precise. But then again, the way these matches are actually coming up is actually looking very strong. I'm actually seeing the evolution coming from quite a few teams. But then again, we are unable to decipher that which team is the one who is going to dominate a bit, because at a moment when we think that maybe Team Mafia will dominate, they are getting shattered. If I think Team Revenant is going to dominate, some other team is going to actually just destroy them. This is how the competition is actually getting balanced. So we don't know what will happen, but before that, let's talk about the overall standing. As you all can see, OG Elite is still on the top with a 180 points, a buffer,
Wow.
a massive buffer to be precise of 52 points. That's interesting. A huge buffer is there. 12 matches that they have played, they have actually arranged 180 points into the constitution. Team Mafias with 128, Assassin's Army with 112, and I believe Team OG Elite is the only team with the four Booyahs.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that is seen in the performance, that can be seen in the points. Right behind them, it's going to be the Team Mafias with 128 points. But like you said, huge buffer, huge margin is what you can see. And with the securing only one Booyah in the hands of Team Mafias. Third, it's going to be the Assassin Army with 112 points and also getting their Booyahs. I think that was yesterday, not today. And Zero Degree climbing up the ladder real quick with the fourth spot and 97 points, also claiming the last Booyah for the day. At the fifth position, it's going to be a World of Battle, but only six matches is what they have played. And let's have a look at the bottom six, where at the seventh position, it's going to be Aura Gaming with 86 points. They have finished their 12 matches and no Booyahs in their hands. At the eighth position was the Team Evolution with 84 points and only six matches being played. Ninth, it was the TSG Army with 74 points. 10th, it's going to be the Headhunter with 66 points. 11th, it's going to be the Reverend Esport with 63 points. And 12th, it was the Boss Official also getting one Booyah and clashing with Reverend Esport with 63 points.
Indeed, a sweet enough fight coming from the corner. But with this, guys, we can actually make sure to end this particular stream, and we'll be back soon enough in the next one where we are going to witness the Bangladesh circuit as well. Along with that, we are going to witness the Indian qualifier tomorrow, I think, and I think we are going to witness the kind of carnage. Any words about that, Maxwell?
Yes, I'll have a lot of expectations, especially when it was my first road, and I saw how it went down the road, how it was very tough for the team. The struggle was real for a lot of teams, but it was somewhere very confident performance from a lot of teams. So that's what we'll be expecting for tomorrow also, and we'll be watching out for Godlike Esport, World of Battle. Let's see what performance and what they have in package for us.
Well, with that, guys, we can bid a farewell. We'll be seeing you soon enough.